Kenny, you're on mute. Kenny, you there? All right. Well, while he's collecting his thoughts, I'm gonna.
They were, pardon
Mhm,
me, they are divorced. They
all right.
split. He gave her a lump sum of 1.6. I think it happened in January
Mhm.
26th.
Okay, and then he started talking to another woman and got her pregnant, and now they have a child together.
That seems to be the case, you know.
He has two girlfriends.
What wasn't? Yeah, that's what I was saying. Wasn't he celebrating having an open relationship or something like that?
Yes, I
Okay.
That's
remember that.
that's
Yeah,
new. That's
that was
like
that was the
super
last
new,
thing I saw. Yeah.
right? But this woman is not one of the girlfriends he was walking down that street with. Um, this is somebody from the past. Like I said, I believe he was married. He got divorced, and then he got with a woman, and then had a baby with her. So they're not married, but they are together in this clip. Like we all said, he was walking down the street with two women. He has an open relationship, at least that mindset at this point in time. So I'm gonna play this and we're gonna get into it.
These people the truth. Oh, shut the fuck up. You don't give a fuck about none of these kids. Do y'all see a fucking picture in his house of a fucking kid? He don't care about these kids. All he care about is doing drugs, drinking alcohol, fucking these hoes. That's what you care about. So let's go. I'm a diddy bop the fuck up out of here. You and your freak off. You can get back to your freak off in a minute. You'll be next. You'll be next. You'll be next. You'll be next. Your stories will be coming out next. He gonna say, my daughter crying. You gotta go. But the hoe gonna stay, huh? The hoe gonna stay? The hoe gonna stay?
Excuse me.
The hoe gonna stay? The hoe gonna stay?
Excuse
The
me.
hoe gonna stay?
Come on now.
The hoe gonna stay?
You're doing a lot.
Huh?
Excuse me.
Why can't you just be at home with your kids?
Why can't you just get out?
Why you just can't be at home with the kids?
Excuse me.
Why you can't be at home with the kids? Is that hard for you to lay in the bed and lay down with your kids?
No, I've done it before.
No, you don't do it. That's the problem. That's why I'm here, and you know that. And you know that. And you know that, though. And you know that. And you know that.
So it was longer than that, but that was part of it, and it went on like that for a while. So the thing that I see in this clip that I don't like that women do is they try to exploit men. And she even used Diddy Bop. She used that terminology. She talked about him liking to drink or do drugs and things like that. Yet she laid down with him, and she knew the lifestyle that he was in when she laid down with him. So, like I said, I don't understand why women try to exploit men when they already know what the deal is. What do you guys think about the clip? Kenny, since
It's
you
disturbing.
okay, disturbing. Sean, you want to elaborate?
Not really. It's just can't control your emotion. Another example of a woman not controlling her emotions when she gets triggered
Hmm.
and using her kids and sabotaging anything in her way to do so, to explore it.
There are no innocent parties here. You wed that woman. You made a promise under God, for richer or for poor, for better or for worse, that you would see it through with this woman.
He married her. He married her.
No, I meant starting with the child's mothers. I mean his wife to children's mothers,
Oh, okay.
and the progression of how he got to where he is right now. You married one woman. You broke vows. You didn't do the same for the second woman. You just went raw as law, knocked that one up. Then you progressively got worse. She's mentioning drugs. One, I believe she's trying to make a case for the courts,
Mm.
just in case anything goes on. She's actively trying to instigate a problem. How long can somebody take someone needling them? He did look high. If you look closely, his eyes was like doing all kind of weird stuff. But what was the outcome that she really wanted? Was it good or bad? Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. That was written. You saw that in real time. But I'll quote Bob Marley to land a plane. To awaken a woman's love and not be intentional would make you a coward. And cowardice acts get cowardice responses, and then you see things like this play out in public in a bad way. I'll land my plane there.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Where do I start? So while everybody was talking, I went and did some digging. Neo was married to someone, not the lady that was in that video, but apparently she was the one that came after the ex-wife and was part of the reason why his ex-wife had filed. So that person in that particular clip at one point was taken into custody towards the end of 2023 for cruelty to children charges after she had reportedly helped her eldest son squabble with a schoolmate, right? So fast forward to now. I would question her intentions as to why she is trying to publicly put something out on Neo, and I believe it's to look at getting some things in her favor with the courts. Now, I'm listening to a girl who got with Neo, likely knowing that he was married, right? Coming after that. So it's like when Kenny said that there's no innocent parties here, it's like, look how you came into the picture, right? So if you're expecting this man to be honorable when he didn't come into this thing honorable with you, get out of here, right? I'm glad that she tried to make Neo look like a fool, but what she did was highlight that she is a fool herself. And good job to Neo for keeping calm. I don't think anybody would have blamed him if he decided to not go off on her, but just go off in general.
Uncle Rick?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, you read what you saw at the end of the day. He knew what he was dealing with, and she knew what she was dealing with. Plain and simple, right? I think she was on tape because she thought she was gonna get him to smack her around. Probably. I mean, that's the only point, right? That's the only point of doing it. The thing is, right? While he plays a big part, right? What more does he owe her if he taking care of his children? What more does he owe her? Right? So it's just messy to me. And I mean, looking at these type of things in these situations, they fine with it. The ladies fine with it when they the center of attention, right? When they the number one, right? When they get to ride in the passenger seat. When did y'all hear from her then? I don't even know who this lady is till now. Right? Understand if you lay down with dogs, you're gonna get fleas. Just that simple. And she ain't no different, right? A dog got to have a bitch for facts. So,
Ooh.
And just to add on, she was antagonizing and trying to saying, body slam me, you slamming me to the floor, do it again.
What'd you say, Sean? I'm sorry.
I said she was antagonizing him, saying, yeah, you just slammed me to the ground. Why don't you tell them that earlier on in the video?
Oh, I didn't even hear that.
Did she say in this video or
No,
in
it
another?
wasn't played in this video.
no, it's on a long one. Yeah, it's on a long
Oh, okay. But again, you sticking. I don't understand why you would stick around and record the man instead of getting your child and getting out of there. You know what I mean? Like that's what, when a woman goes to exploit a man, I never understand it, because you're part of you are part of that problem. You helped create that problem. So now you want to tell the world how horrible he is, not realizing that you look horrible yourself.
Yeah. Again, to my original point, hurt people hurt people. And so it's just another example of somebody hurting, somebody who out of control because they was triggered from a traumatizing situation, and they don't know how to control their emotions. And they don't care whether it's their kids that are sacrificed, whether it's another person, whether it's themselves. They just act out of control. And it's a shame that we have to even see this on anybody's part, male, woman, man, woman. As an adult, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
The
Thank
percentage.
you.
I'm sorry.
Thank you, Ty Shadow One, for the $9.99 super chat. We appreciate the support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Go ahead, Kenneth. What were you gonna say?
The further that I like go over it in my head, she didn't get the result that she wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And she's doing everything to try to mitigate the damage and also profit off of it. Because I can't get it out of my head that you would be on video trying to instigate something, trying to point out certain things. I don't see any pictures of your kids. You're trying to really bait for something, then you're in its face, which is threatening. And he is keeping his composure, despite me feeling, in my opinion, that he was under, whatever drug of his choice. That's only my opinion, allegedly. It seems that he's been down that road before. And I know he's kicking himself in the butt for actually letting her in. Maybe the kids are there and she has to have access, but maybe he didn't even expect that. And she was like, you know what? I'm gonna launch it tonight and see what comes of it.
And
Worse.
I'm gonna go off his stance as, I mean, he knew what was coming. He's been there before with her, obviously. You know what I mean? But what I hate is that, like I said, when it's okay for you, it's okay for you, right? You bringing up the kids, you don't care about them kids, because if the kids was in danger, you would simply remove you and your child from the situation instead of sitting up there criticizing, trying to down a man that you had a child with.
Right.
You had a child with him. All that rah rah rah. I bet you she still deal with him. I bet you a dime to a donut she still deal with Nia. I bet you. Because if you didn't, you wouldn't be there. If you had a man, right? If you had a man that was yours, there's no way you or him would allow yourself to be in there along with that man for no reason besides the kids. Right?
That's a great point.
So go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Oh, go ahead, Rick.
Right. So like I said, women play these games and we want to blame men. All we can blame that man for is being irresponsible with his seed with a woman he wasn't married to, that he didn't want to be with. But we got to start holding these women responsible for their actions as well. Her actions was bogus. They was disrespectful. The child was there in the bed, so the child heard everything that his or her mama was saying. Right? Nobody ever want to take these things into account. The only thing we look at is, oh, he's a man, toughen up, be stoic, and let it ride. No, she ain't shit either.
And to your point, I think it's beyond holding people accountable and responsible. There needs to be consequences for actions like that, and that's what's missing. There are no consequences.
Right. What are the consequences of someone trying to exploit someone else like that? Now, he is famous. Neo is famous, fortune and fame. But what happens when it happens to regular Joe Schmoes out here, where you have someone trying to exploit them because things didn't turn out the way that they wanted it to? I forget who said that. Kenny, I think Kenny said it. Things didn't turn out the way that they wanted it to. Sometimes women don't even go to social media. They'll go straight to your car. They'll go straight to your home and try and destroy your stuff. They'll call, your family members, or try to send pics and things of you to embarrass you and shame you in public. Yet they never want to talk about their problematic behavior. And dear God, let somebody try to exploit them, and it's deny, deny, deny. I didn't do it. It wasn't me.
Yeah.
So what do you do when it's the regular Joe Schmo out here?
You know what's crazy? I don't want to even seem like I'm dogpiling, but females get away with that a lot. I was on another show, and this woman went up there. She was in IG saying I was a homosexual and I dealt with transsexuals, and she had her troll people come in and they said they had videos. And I said, bring the videos, show proof. Then she went on a show and pushed a lie. And when I challenged her, she said it was getting some type of way, and I called her on her character, and I said, "You're a Jezebel."
Mm.
For me saying that, she tried to sick black men on me. What's the recourse for that? I said, "I'll hold you to it." You threatened me? I said, "No, I'm gonna hold you to it."
Mm.
And guess what? Let's use people like that, just her, in a specific case.
Mm.
Certain people in life would lead you to a pine box or a prison,
Mm-hmm.
just off of whatever dubious intent that they have. What mother, to piggyback on what Rick said, what mother, if your daughter, mutual, is laying there, would be doing all of that? Kids are sponges. They'll remember. You're giving that daughter that you're supposed to share trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Add to that, maybe that's another reason he's staying as calm as possible, hoping that you would stop, then leave. There's so many different ways that we can go with this, but men are not exempt. Anyone that deals within this toxicity, we really have no solid way of checking them because there's nothing benchmark across. Someone could call your name King. You did this to me, and you have to prove your innocence.
See,
It ain't right.
and to delve deeper into that, right? And I blame women for this the same way I blame men for getting a female pregnant, knowing that the child support and family laws are against us, right? Women to do that to a man, knowing exactly how the laws would apply, right? Because the rule of thumb is, right, if there's a domestic violence situation, it's not investigated on site. The man is usually taken away first and foremost, and then they decide who's innocent later, right? So again, we got to stop. Everybody's responsible for what they're responsible for, and we allow grown folks to get away with what responsibilities they were supposed to have far too often. Far too often.
I agree. I agree with that. So yeah, just wanted to talk about that since Kenny brought it up because it does happen every day. You know, it happens every day. 2024 is supposed to be the year of, you know, exposure, and I think everybody's just hopping on that train. Either one, to shame someone, two, to get money out of it, three, for their own personal sick gain. And I think that, you know, things like that needs to stop and change because you can mess up someone's life like that. You can destroy someone's life like that, and people get away with it every day. Every day they get away with it. Go ahead,
Did
Kenny.
you see that she issued an apology and the apology started out great? And
No.
then on it, so she started out by saying, so I'm drinking boba tea, talking to my dad on the phone, self-reflecting, and I'd like to apologize for putting y'all in our business. That's a great start.
Mhm.
It then goes, emotions were heightened, and I want the best of him, I guess, to show up. But I understand you can't make people feel you. I have good faith everything will come together. And this is where she about to lose people. Full moon was out, cycle on, postpartum, built with frustration, and a lot of she put underlining, but I'm assuming she meant underlying issues that we needed to be addressed. Trying to do that with the problem, those problems present made heightened emotions. And I'm just gonna stop there because there's like another two sentences. What the fuck does the full moon have to do with
That's her way of saying I'm impulsive and what I did was stupid. So let me give y'all all the excuses of why I was acting stupid and impulsive. That the
And
full moon don't have nothing to do with it. Her cycle don't have nothing to do with it. You know, women need to stop throwing that out there. Stop throwing that your cycle is the reason why you going crazy. You know during that time of the month that you have issues. So maybe you should stay clear of people. Maybe you should stay out of conflict with people during that month. It's called regulating your emotions. And so all those things that you said that she said in the apology, she started off good, took some accountability, go sister. But then you just took it, you know, pretty much erased everything you said once you gave all the excuses of why you did it. You should have just said I was being impulsive and made a dumb decision to put my business out in the street like that.
here's the thing, and she made it safe for herself by throwing in that postpartum psychosis.
But she
Yeah.
wasn't safe.
But if you try to attack her after that, it gives her the exit point to say you're attacking someone with a mental issue that they're trying to
No, she can't throw
deal
that
with.
in there on top of her cycle, on top of the full moon. I can see if she just left it at that and she just said, you know what, I've been dealing with a lot since the baby. And even then, you know, it's like, okay, well, are you going to go get help or are you just sitting and laying with this thing? Are you just going to allow it to take you instead of you controlling it? You know, she said too many things afterwards for you to not really want to credit her for her accountability because she's still in the end is not trying to be accountable for the dumb behaviors. Like Neo sat there calm. The man was playing the game like most men do. Like that's what I'm saying. Like, although he is Neo, that situation, that scenario is very common. Just because he got some money, some coins, don't make him, you know, exempt from the shenanigans that men go through all day, every day. It don't make her any different than the women out here trying to exploit men and get money from it. You
That
know,
actually
it's the
makes him more of
same
a victim.
thing. It's the same old stories.
That
So she should have just said that I'm impulsive. Being postpartum has me making decisions that I need to go get help for instead of trying to come to the internet and bleed on people that didn't cut me. That's it.
see
And that's all.
you would get away with it because you're a female. Us as men, that'd be dogpiling. We'd be
Bruh,
shamed for doing it.
bruh.
Am I wrong, Uncle Rick?
No, I'm agreeing. You speaking
Man,
facts, bruh.
re-
We
re-
we we
reverse
get clowned. We get clowned and canceled.
Let me use a big one. We'd be besmirched.
Yes,
Like,
definitely, sir.
yes,
You are a gentleman and a scholar, sir. You
yeah, reverse those characters. Neo doing what she did and vice versa. Reverse that, and let's just play that out. You
Yeah,
see,
he
all of
would
the men,
probably be
all
sitting
of
in
the men are
somebody's
quiet.
jail cell
Exactly,
somewhere
we're
for a
all
night.
quiet because we all know what it would be.
Mm,
what's today? Monday. If it was the weekend, we'll be watching Neo's bond hearing today on Court TV.
mm-hmm. Jason says it's worse because he can't react like a normal dude. I actually commend him for the way that he reacted. I always say you can't fight fire with fire all the time. You know, if he was going back at her like Ricky said, he would be in jail and we would be reading how much it would cost for him to get out of jail. If he was acting the way she was acting. She had her fingers all up in his face, you know, calling him out of his name. You know, there is a such thing as fighting fair. Nobody fights fair anymore. There is no, you know, I'm mad, you're mad, but I'm not going to call you out your name. I'm not going to disrespect you. I'm not going to take it there. But because of all the excuses she gave, which are excuses that many women give, it makes it okay. And it don't make it okay. It doesn't make it okay at all whatsoever. Hello, Hank. How are you this evening, sir?
He's just
Man,
getting
how
it
you doing,
together.
Precious? How you doing, everybody else on the panel? How y'all doing today?
What up, Big Hank?
Hey,
I heard you calling
Doing
somebody
well, doing well.
boy earlier
Right
today.
on,
I was
right
like
on.
driving home. I said, it bothered my brother. I was like,
I wanted
whoa.
to say something else, but I try to be more diplomatic. So right on.
I missed
Yes,
it.
sir. Yes, sir. But back to what you were saying, Precious. You know when I knew things was going on the other side for these ultra feminist women? The first time I heard Miss Sophia say, hell no.
Oh my goodness. Hell no. All right, so we're gonna move on from this one. And you're right, she'd file a civil suit, right? So that's how men have to fight back, honestly, because you are liable to be destructive just because you're a man. And so to not go down that route, I would say, you got to fight things like that a different way. You do.
Vet,
Look, here's
vet,
the thing.
vet, and vet. That's all I.
Precious, we can't.
Go ahead, continue. My bad, bro.
We can't. If you look at the percentages of things, laws, public perception, that whole hodgepodge of gumbo soup, you do not have a large percentage of anything favoring a man to defend himself, to stand on his twos and say, no, enough is enough. I did not do this. Stop typecasting me as a certain type of thing. It is aspirational, what you said. I give you that. It's aspirational. But as for common life, men are getting the shitty end of the stick, pardon my French. And I'm not dogpiling, and that's a percentage. That's a certain set, not all. I'm not painting it with the whole brush. But men in situations like this, Neo's at fault. I give it to him. You got raw ain't law when you're a high value man and you know you have something to lose. God forbid she came with Gloria Allred. You would have to be giving up a lot more of that money. You understand? You don't need to be torn apart and looked at something other than what you are. A man that is just exploring his options after marriage, maybe living reckless. We didn't hear that he's not taking care of his children. But this one wants to be in a controlled position. And if she can't control the situation, she wishes to try to instigate a problem. And then when that don't work, she go back with Shanae and them and lay a civil suit on you and see how the cards fall. So at the end of the day, you actually do have to blame Neo. Not every hole is a hole, Precious, respectfully.
Not every hole is a hole. All righty. And on that note, we're going to go on to the next video.
Hey, prior to transitioning, there were a couple of additional super chats. Would you mind
were there?
acknowledging those?
Yes, I apologize. BZ, formerly Baby Zaddy, says peace and blessings, OG, with a $10 ball there. I apologize. A1HZ, hashtag TWT, says peace to the panel and my OG Rickett Williams. Drop in the collection plate. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Appreciate you, E. BZ.
All right, I think that was it, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yep.
All right. Thank you guys so much for contributing. I appreciate you. We appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. If you haven't hit the like button, please hit that like button. And I'm gonna open the lines up soon for you guys to call in, but we're gonna get to our next video because I know y'all are really gonna want to call in for the final topic. So that's when I'll open the lines up. But we have another video here. It's a guy who called into another podcast, and I'm sorry, a woman who called in about her man to another podcast, and this was the situation.
He was invited to his best friend's wedding, like super best friend's wedding.
Let me make sure I play from the beginning.
My boyfriend that I've been with for over a year, he was invited to his best friend's wedding, like super best friend's wedding, without a +1. Okay, that's problematic. But then his other friend's girlfriend texted me the other day, what am I wearing to the wedding? It's showing me pictures of her dress that she's wearing.
Okay.
They've been together for like less than 3 months. What
Babe,
is that
it's
about?
not my I don't know how many times I can say this. It's not my wedding.
But does your friend, if he's really a good friend, does he have something against Candace? Why didn't you get a +1?
No, I think he's just closer to other people, and it's not a huge wedding. It's a very small budgeted wedding. I think he invited the people who he can afford to invite, and him and Candace don't
Who
really
he can
talk
afford to
like that,
invite?
so
How
not
about he
friends.
invited the people that he respects?
I'm going to the wedding. Like I've been friends with this guy for a long time. I'm going to the wedding.
Would you ever nicely ask as a buddy if it really is one of your best friends, like, hey man, my girl really wants to go. Is it possible to get a +1?
I mean, I just think that's awkward because I kind of already know what his head's at. I think he wants the people that he invited. So it's like, I don't know why she can't ask. She has to be there. She doesn't even know the people like that.
Will you break up with Akeem if he doesn't invite you or find a way to get you to this wedding?
Hear him talk right now? Yes. If he doesn't at least ask. If he doesn't at least ask.
All right. So, what do you guys think about that? You have your friend who is getting married. He sends out the wedding invitations. There is no +1 for you to go or for her to go. And she knows that, you have another friend there that's bringing his girlfriend. And she's like, hey, look, if you're not going to at least ask the man, I'm going to break up with you. He did say that he knew where his friend's head is at, but he didn't say that he would ask him. So what do you guys think? Is she wrong for feeling that way, or?
Yes, she's let me correct. She's not. They're her feelings. She's entitled to feel however she wants to feel. Go for it, girlfriend. He don't like you. His friend doesn't like you. He don't want you there to mess up a good time. Plain and simple.
Yeah, that's it.
I am not required to like my wife's girlfriend. She is not required to like my male friends. That's where they're my friends, and she has her friends. Break up with them.
Wow, I didn't even think about it from that standpoint, but I would add on to it. Her reaction reflects what you're saying.
He said already, I know where my friend's head's at. That means his man already told him, I don't want that bitch there. Let's keep it 1,000. That's why he not fighting it. Because if he was really into his girl like that, and that's his girl, that's his number one, that's his main, he gonna be like, bro, I can't even do it. That's my girl, that's my one. Now everybody in the group chat knows she a headache. They asking her, why you still with this bitch?
I think she knew though when she said he invited everyone that he respects. I think she knows that his friend don't respect her. She knows it. Sean, did you want to finish going ahead?
No, I mean you're hitting it right on the nose. Not only does he know it, he's politically correct trying to share that with her without going into any different directions.
What's the hard part? You know when somebody don't like you if you can read the room. It could be a bar mitzvah. It could be a sweet 16. It could be a book club meeting, Sunday revival. If you ain't get the invite, are you really feeling some type of way?
People don't want to accept it right now. I'm going to use this person because they're a celebrity and their story was just recently, out on certain spaces. But Amanda Seales, she talked about how she was at a party and got disinvited from the party by Issa Rae's assistant or something like that. And instead of just being like, you know what, I'm not going to try to go up in this party because I'm not wanted here, right? She tried to bulldog her way into getting back in by going around this assistant, and then had an issue when the assistant came back and was like, no, you need to leave. I'm getting security. Get your ass out, right? Why are you trying to go somewhere that you're not wanted? I'll never understand people that act that way.
Yeah, it's funny that you bring that up. And I try to stay away from bashing my Caribbean sisters, Grenada, Spice Island all day. But as you listen to the show, there was more than one occasion where it was problematic, and she pointed it out. And she's had a plethora of places that she went where she was not wanted. And at what point do you look in the mirror and say, is it something about my behavior and something about me that causes this thing to habitually happen? And I've yet to hear an intelligent Black woman, highly talented as she is, to take the bare minimums and say, you know what, I need to do a lot more work on me.
That question would never come up, Kenny.
Not everybody can hate me. And I always felt a certain type of way because there was a certain doctor that she put a jacket on, that she never apologized to him as for him being a sexual predator. And it may have went by in words, but as loud as the offense should be, as loud as the apology, and she never got there. So I let that simmer, but I kept it in my head. But I'm watching at all the things that she's got into. She got into stuff with Wale. You're in problems with security. You're in problems with Issa Rae, who's never had a problem with anyone before and is exalted in everything that you hear about, powerful Black sister putting on other Blacks in our community so that they can eat well. And now we hit the Floetry story. Mel Shambrosius was hating on you. Everybody's hating on you.
Wow. You know what's interesting? I'm not defending her whatsoever because I've had this conversation over the last weekend for several hours. But I will say this. One thing that I do not like to see is when, let's just say that party, for example. If Issa Rae didn't want Amanda Seales, Issa Rae should have told Amanda Seales. And we gloss over that point. We gloss over that often. We gloss over that.
I
And
don't think that she would.
not again, not defending her position because I don't agree with it whatsoever, what she did and none of that. But the point is, if the assistant is sitting there telling her and Issa Rae isn't co-signing that or didn't co-sign that, that's what a lot of people in power do often. Instead of just addressing what it is they feel, they send it off to someone else. And I don't agree with that either.
Okay, flip that coin real quick. Cling, just give me a minute. Flip that coin real quick. If you're problematic and that one known to make big noise in a certain thing, someone doesn't want that problem and they have the buffer. You're only hearing Amanda Seales' side. The other people, okay, give it to them that they're more classy, that they don't want to destroy her or put another dampen on her career and her as a person. You've never heard about that story back from Issa Rae, no publicist. Now, if they really wanted to put sauce on it, you would have heard about it a long time ago, that she is problematic. And in Hollywood, once you get somebody big like that and they say something about you, it sends a ripple effect. How do you know Issa Rae wasn't just trying to save her, mitigate what was going on there, move away from that because that's not her cup of tea, and still let her do her thing?
Okay, why couldn't Issa Rae say that? That's my point.
Why did she have to?
Why did she have to?
Because it's cowardly. Because it's cowardly. And why does she have? Because it's cowardly.
How is it cowardly?
You just said you needed a buffer. Okay, one, if this is a person that you already have given an opportunity and have a relationship with it, and you're giving these opportunities, and now they're problematic, but yet you don't want to address that directly, it's cowardly.
Sean, you're allowed to say that. If I fed you and I know that you're one to be problematic, I'm going to turn your faucet off with me. And I'm going to be benevolent and give you a chance to go somewhere else without destroying your rep. That's like someone getting a reference from an old job. They know you were a shitty worker, but they chose not to write down your offenses in hopes that you would get it right the next time around and see your wrongs.
None of us here, I believe, are men that if we had somebody like Amanda Seales or the lady that was on the clip that Precious played, we would be with somebody like that. But I'm going to ask the hypothetical question. How do you navigate a problematic woman if you had one in your life, if she was yours?
Wow.
If she were mine, I remove my presence.
Great
It's
answer.
just that simple, right? Because I understand any woman that deal with me on a romantic level is going to have a better life than not dealing with me. It's certain things that I take on as a man that you ain't gonna find out there in them streets every day. Good men are hard to find, just like good women, right? So, like I said, I have a certain setup. I have certain things in place. I take care of certain things, and if you over here with rah, the streets is out there for you.
Bye, bye, bye.
Enjoy. You ain't gotta worry about me throwing your stuff in the street. We gonna pack your stuff together.
Bye, 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 bye. Out the door you go. I don't think you should deal with a unruly woman. What? Who does that? This guy who is getting invited to this wedding, he probably like, look, I'm gonna go. You gonna break up with me? It is what it is. Like he probably like, hey, look, I'm
right.
not.
She just a headache. It sound like to me she just a fucking headache. In all honesty,
Pink, what you think?
The guy the guy who's paying for the wedding didn't invite you. I'll bring you a plate.
I'll bring you some drive-through. They still open because he knows she's with her. So,
but Peep Super Game though. Peep Super Game. You called into a public forum to spread you and your boyfriend's business.
That's what I'm saying.
But we questioning his logic. Okay.
I don't know why these girls feel like the internet is their diary. Jesus. I'm sorry, Hank. Go ahead.
Nah, everything about that situation was bad. I mean, to the point where he don't invite his girlfriend, and it didn't help that all of a sudden one of the other girlfriends asked her what she's wearing and she's not going. That just put salt on the wound. That's like at Lake Michigan after you got a cut, just pouring it in the wound, just made it worse. God damn, boy. I couldn't deal with a woman like that. I know you asked that question. There's no way. I mean, look, if you got a woman like that, she's gonna show it early. She's not bashful about showing her true colors. You know, like you said, she went on a public forum, a calling line, and he was right there on the phone. Dude, why are you even on the phone with her? Why are you right there with her? You should have said, you call that show, it's over. And you should have held tight to what you said. It's over. So she would call in. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? If I'm over her house or we saying I'm out, and I'm calling my best friend whose wedding I'm going to, man, let me sleep on your couch for a couple days. You know what it is. She found out, but she wasn't getting invited to the party. I just need a couple days so I get some shit together, and then I'll be out. Can you help a brother out? You know what I'm saying? If that's your good friend, he said, man, yeah. Matter of fact, you gonna stay in the guest bedroom. The kids are out of town this week, so go and stay there. Yeah. You don't deal with somebody like that. You don't. And the fact that she went and told it on public, that nothing about that's okay. That's why I say all the time, I don't want everybody in me and my wife's business. Why? Why does everybody get the opportunity to put their hand in my stool? That's the bullshit I'm talking about. Hell no. And she, I guess I got to give her credit. She went to an unbiased place because, they have no ties to nobody on that radio station. But to do that and allow everybody in the world knows it, the friend gonna know it. And guess what? He probably gonna say, man, you know what this bitch did? She called into the radio station, our podcast, and just aired all our business out there. And he probably told her, you probably don't need to be with her. That's I told you a long time ago. But you thought that ass was good. You thought it was gonna get better. No, I don't. Your friends don't like her. You probably really don't like her, but you ain't ain't got no
the girl. Hey, Hank, the girl who called her definitely don't like her.
Oh yeah, she did that shit on purpose. She did, and sent a picture of her. Yeah, she flexed on her ass. She big flexed on her ass. She said, look at my dress. What do you think about what you wearing? Oh, you ain't going. She gave it that evil villain laugh too before she hung up the phone. Yeah. It was all the way bad all the way around. So I'm gonna leave it there.
Yeah, she I don't know. I think sometimes women just don't pick up on certain things. You know, it's like, did you need this to break up with this man, or should y'all have broken up way before this? You know what I mean? Like, I think somebody had put it in the chat, like she was waiting for this moment or something like that.
I mean, I
Because
thought. I'm sorry, my apologies.
Jason said, I feel like the girl wanted to give him the ultimatum for a long time. And I believe it's true to, like, you can hear the frustration in her voice, the tension, like it's almost like a buildup. And when you do things like this, you want to expose him. You want to say how, you know, the other friends are going, and if he doesn't invite you, then, you know, you're gonna break up with him. You probably should have did that a while ago, because y'all probably aren't compatible. I mean, if your friend know that you're with someone and he don't put you down for a +1, you have to know that man don't. It's not about, you know, the money and the tight knit. You know, men do for who they want to do for, and he made sure that there was no way that he was doing for your girlfriend. he made sure of that. So, you know, I think things like this, women have to get to a point where, and men, because, you know, he could have broke up with her at any given time, but of course, free poom poom is there. It's probably in house, you know. But at this point, it's like, I just don't. Look, if you want to leave, go ahead. You can leave. You know, I think men will be all right if you know, you say you want to leave. I don't think he'll be sitting there crying and in the dumps.
Weddings one of the best places to meet available women. Just
okay. All right, Sean, welcome back. All right. Jason says she was looking to shame him, and any woman willing to shame you in public is not for y'all. She is for herself. I agree. I appreciate that, and I agree as well. Frenchie K says we sure do, Precious. Yeah, men gonna do things for who they want to do things for. That's one tall tale sign. Women, wake up. If a man want to do it for you, he gonna do it for you. Period. If he don't want to do it for you, he not gonna do it for you.
He'll move hell and high water to get it done if he has
to. He gonna do it, and that's what you need to look for. And it's not necessarily a dollar amount. It is the willingness, the hard work, and I don't want to even say the inconvenience, but a man will move around.
Inconvenience. Yes, the inconvenience. Because many times men will do stuff for their women at detriment for their women at a detriment to themselves.
Yeah. So, John, thank you so much for being here. He says, "Hey, Precious, don't catch every stream, but when I do, it's always quality conversation and panel. Y'all keep up the good work. Appreciate you. Thank you for being here, John."
The convenience sense should be honestly the telltale sign. If men are being honest. Because I don't try to do shit. I don't do shit that I don't want to go out my way to do. I do it for my wife, though.
All right, Sean, what you doing to us here? Should I remove the other one? What we got going on?
All right, no, I'm here.
Okay. All right, so yet another one trying to expose a man that...
I can answer the question, too. You said, what would you do? Pastor Darius Daniels, 2 weeks ago, addressed something like this pretty easily. Step 1, have the discussion with the person. Step 2, have limitations on access that you give them to yourself. Step 3, separate if limitations don't work. And step 4, elimination. If none of those steps prior to, you have to eliminate them out of your life. So you have a discussion. You know, point out the setting, the behavior, and the adjustments that are needed. If they don't take heed to that, Give limitations on how much access and availability you give to yourself, to that person. Then you separate yourself. If the limitation doesn't work, you separate yourself, take a break for a little while before you give them any access. You just take a break, don't give them no access whatsoever. And then when you go to, lastly, if the separation doesn't work and you come back and you allow them back in, eliminate them out of your lives because they don't belong there. It was great advice to me, and I'm just sharing it with you guys because I believe it can work in this case.
I definitely agree. I heard that message as well. Yesterday's message was every good door is not a God door. Change Church if y'all want to check it out. YouTube them. All right. So we're gonna move on. Did everybody go on this one? Right? Everybody went on this one. She wasn't invited to the wedding. Don't think she's gonna be invited back into his life, but hey, that's them. All right. So this next one that I wanted to play is of a couple, another couple, and Mama got a lot to do with what's going on with this couple. So we're going to play this and y'all let me know what y'all think. All the men on the panel. I love having the men on the panel on Mondays because y'all give y'all perspective and your thoughts towards these situations. And I think they're very helpful for those who are watching because, like I said, a lot of these situations people go through every day in everyday life, real life. And I believe you guys' perspectives help. People tell me that actually. I don't think I know. So we're going to put this one up and you guys let me know what you think about this one.
I'm confused.
So what's wrong with boundaries?
Hold on now.
I'm confused.
So what's wrong with boundaries?
I mean, what do you mean by boundaries?
I'm uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable. It's really making me uncomfortable. It is your mom. But she doesn't know boundaries. Tyler, what don't you understand?
Okay, so can you all right, so I'm gonna give you an example. So if we was to go on vacation or
I don't want to hear no example. What about how I feel? So it's your mom over me. You don't care about how I feel?
It's a great balance between the both. But it's always you, but it's gonna be my mom too.
Miss Audrey, ma'am.
Mom.
Excuse me.
Don't go, please.
Audrey, Tyler, shut up. Audrey, let me get you straight. That's my son. I don't know how you grew up or whoever raised you, but that's mine, okay? And that's what I need you to understand. It has nothing to do with you. My boundaries, you saying that I go in your stuff, no, I'm cleaning it because you're nasty. Tyler, I told you could have did better a long time ago.
I love her though.
No, you don't. You don't know what you
really.
couldn't possibly know what love is, Tyler. She's only with you for your money.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. What do you do? What do you do for a living? You do nothing.
I have an online business.
You just want to sit here and be
I have an online business.
But what money does it make?
It makes money.
No, it's Tyler's money. It's not your money.
Who asked you to come in here?
No one asked me. My son pays bills here. You don't pay bills, sweetie.
Mom,
you don't pay bills. You pay no bills here.
So are you gonna let her talk?
I can talk to her any way I please because guess what? You came from me, Tyler.
No, I'm saying though, come on, you can't be disrespectful.
This is way too uncomfortable.
You can't be disrespectful.
You know what, Tyler?
This is my lady. You can't be doing this. It's too much.
So what do you guys think? Mom is all up in the stew, Hank. She in the stew, but does she have, since they're living at her house, does she have any say when it comes to their relationship?
Wait, they're living in her house? I didn't get that.
That's what I got. Yeah.
Yeah, they're living in her house. The son is paying, bills, some type of bills. His girlfriend isn't.
Oh, I thought they was living in his house and she was just visiting. And she was saying he pays all the bills in his house. That's her house? The mother house? Not that it throws a different. Wow, that throws a different spin on it, but it doesn't negate her disrespectful actions whatsoever. And I don't respect titles. I respect people. And I don't respect my mother because she's my mother. I respect my mother because she's a great person who I know and love. So the title of mother does not warrant her mom saying, "Shut up, Tyler," and you could have done better. I already told you that 1,000 times. That doesn't warrant any of that behavior. She then again is showing another example of someone, in this case a woman, who is triggered by something and not handling her emotions, not being mature in the way that she's addressing it, and everybody is suffering from it.
I was trying to give y'all room because that's a whole hodgepodge. Another one. You're living under your mom's roof, say you're paying bills. You're paying your own bills. I think mom is overstepping her bounds, but you got to be man enough to be out that house, because I'm not thinking that's the first occurrence of her and your woman getting into it. It just hit a certain height, and then that's on video. Nasty, clean, up, down, left, right. That's his life to live, not yours. He'll make his decision. If it's a wrong one, he'll take his licks, lick his wounds, then figure it out. Every mom I would say every good mom is a nurturer, but there's a certain bound that has to be respected, and she doesn't see him as her a man. She sees him as her little boy. He's mine. Yeah, he came from you, but at a certain point in time, you have to respect his decisions as a man. And I felt she walked all over him, told him shut up, let him talk to his girl. I mean, she talked to his girl like she ain't had no regard for her, and she's openly showing, I don't like you. You're nasty. You're this. You're that. You don't have a job, and this, that. I'm like, you're too intertwined in your son's happiness. If he takes his lumps, he takes his lumps. But he said what he said. I love her.
You're on mute, Precious.
You're on mute, Precious.
Thank you. I was inclined to think it was the mom's house because she called her nasty, and then she said that she accused her to going in her stuff, but she said she cleans up after her. So unless he done moved mom and her in, I'm thinking that it's mom's house and they live with mom.
And the funny thing is, I'm sorry, it doesn't negate the actions, because she could have simply have asked them to leave because she couldn't deal with any of that stuff, instead of sitting there trying to cover for her son and baby him and give him no, ask him to leave, ask him, brother, son, I just can't, I don't mind you, but I can't take you and your spouse. And so therefore you're gonna have to find another place to live. And all of this could have been avoided, but she's embracing behavior that she don't like from him, and putting it and highlighting the things that trigger her from her. But he is her, so she wouldn't be there without him. So it's not her who's the issue, it's you and how you deal with him. That's the issue.
Yeah, mom. I mean, shoot, move out. Who hasn't gone on this, King?
I have to commend the lady for being able to voice her thoughts and to communicate in a way that wasn't rude, it wasn't confrontational. I think she clearly stated her thoughts on the matter, and even when the mom came in attacking, she didn't go to that level of rudeness that the mom did. I thought how she handled that was fantastic and something that should be highlighted, and she was the only one that I saw communicated well. The way that the mom talked to both of them was extremely rude and disrespectful, and the way that the son couldn't manage his mother's rudeness is something that he needs to figure out how to fix ASAPidly.
Right.
No, he
look,
don't.
I don't know, man. That's crazy.
Why not? Hold on. Hey, Rick, why not?
He don't have to learn to manage her rudeness. She can choose to be rude if he wants. But if that's her house, he needs to separate himself from her. See, the only reason a lot of people are able to get away with stuff that they get away with is because other people because you depend on that person.
Leverage.
Right? If he was a man in his own house, it wouldn't matter what a goddamn thing his mother said. Mom, you can leave. You can leave. He got to take that talk because he's not an independent man. This is what we say as a man. You bring your woman into your space, right? Not your mama's space, not her space, into your space. He's not paying his bills. He's paying his mama's bills.
Did you hear what I said?
Right? So again, the dynamic is all fucked up from get up.
True.
Right? We supposed to be men.
Okay.
We supposed to be men. Why do you have your girl in this uncomfortable ass position? Because y'all was forced to be like that because either she didn't have her stuff together and she trusted you to get it together, or you don't have your stuff together and you told her you was gonna get it together. Right? Because otherwise they'll be in their own one bedroom somewhere. Facts?
Facts. It's all facts.
Right? So his mama has the right. Listen to what I say, guys, and I mean this with 100% honesty and from the bottom of my heart. Your feelings are yours. Everybody's entitled to feel how they want to feel. I don't have to live by them. Right? His mama could feel however she want to feel in her own house, under her own roof. Would that matter if they live 20 miles away?
Not at all.
That's all his fault. This is one of the cases we always say it's the young man's fault. It's his fault. Because this conversation wouldn't even have to be had. This would not be a point of interest, a POI, if they didn't live with his mama or their mama or his mama was all in his space like that. Mama, you gotta go. I love you. Just like you said, I'm your son. I came from you. I'm gonna always be your son, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mamas need to be put in their place too.
Yeah. And moms need to have respect for their sons. You have a lot of these moms who probably were single moms and looked to their sons, for that extra help, or just treated them as if, they were their significant other and their son. And so they feel like they have this entitlement over the son's relationship and the waves that the relationship goes in. And moms have to realize that that's your son's life. You lived your life. Keep living it. But don't try and live mine for me. And that has to be something that moms have to really get. But I think that sons reinforce that. Sons, you're growing up to be from boys to men. So as a man, you have to, respectfully tell your mother, it's my time now. Just like Antoine Fisher said, it's my time. It's my time. So you gotta do that with your moms, because she gonna think you the baby forever. She gonna, I saw a clip that said parents don't want to let children grow up past the age that, they feel as though they still have to mother them. And it's like, no, they've gotten older. You can let go. I think a lot of parents have trouble raising their adults, and not raising, but parenting their adult children. That should be a show all in itself. All right, did everybody go on this? Go ahead, Kenny.
I really agree with you, because I listened to the tonality of his voice real quick, and Kyle. But Mom, I love her. That don't sound like a man that stand on his twos. That looks like he's trying to get permission that it's okay to still be with her.
But do you think he had an example? That sounds like a man who didn't really have an example, because if he had an example, he wouldn't have his girl in the house unless there was an agreement and he made it clear, hey, there is not going to be, I don't even think a father would even allow a mother to meddle meddle.
That's what I was gonna say. Where was
Yeah,
the
because
man for the wife? You know,
even there about my dad. My
check
dad
that
look,
shit.
tell my mom, stay out their business. Don't
Yeah.
you ain't gotta be, all up in their bit. So I couldn't even see that happening. But it doesn't even sound like he had that example, because if he did, he wouldn't be trying to beg his mom. His mom would have somebody that would put her in order and say, hey, look, you gotta, and the dad probably wouldn't even let the boy stay there. Look, you gotta have your own. You want to be grown? Be grown. If not, you're gonna have to look. You could stay here. She might have to find another place to stay, but you got to get your stuff together as a man. And if you want us to help you do that, we can't allow the distraction, because a lot of times we think certain things are good for us, but they're distractions. We can't allow the distraction to be here with you because you have to get yourself together. He's trying to do it with her and is working against him because his mom probably know he trying to get his stuff together, but mom can't be mom and dad.
Nah, I think dad is in a pine box and she done got the insurance money. Still raising hell though.
Oh God.
So I get exactly what you say, 100% on point. There's other caveats. You don't know if he was trying to save so that he can get out, and then the girlfriend was a plus one because her disposition is like, if she felt that way from the get-go, she wouldn't be in the house.
Well, it makes me wonder where her family at.
That too.
Where's your family?
There's a lot of different caveats to this. Yeah.
Why would your family just allow you to go live with this guy unless you just left home or, don't want to go back to your family? But, that's another caveat in this. It's like, where's your family at? Go ahead, Hank.
Yeah, there's a lot of issues with the situation, but I'm gonna first off the man, because that woman, that mother, knows a whole lot of information she shouldn't be knowing. That's a problem, because that boy's been spewing his goddamn guts to his mama. Probably been nagging to her just because they like best friends, and so that's what they do. They sit on the goddamn stoop on the milk carton crate and just talk shit about other people in the family or in the neighborhood or in their circle. So he probably went and vented to her about his girlfriend. Yeah, she's not doing this. She's only making this amount of money. I'm sick of this, paying all the bills myself. He's probably that. He's probably want to be a 50-50 dude. And she ain't really providing much. She's probably only providing maybe 25 to 30%. And he wanted to do at least 50, and it's not going that well. So he started going to the mama. Mom, you think we could move in for a couple months, you know what I'm saying, till we get ourselves on our feet, till we get our own apartment? And she probably told him then, yeah, I wouldn't, like she said, I told you to leave a long time ago. But he didn't listen. Like I said, man, but look at her, man. Some of these dudes fall for some good ass. Now, she don't look like she can cook. I'm just saying, I could be totally off. She don't look like she can cook. But she got that look about her, look like she, she can take some dick. And he loved getting her to her. And it's probably just what it need to be for him. And that's why he ain't letting her go. She got his nose wide open. Yeah, she can't cook. She can't cook for shit. She can't cook for shit. So, yeah. She putting that thing on his chin, and he don't know how to act. And mama just bust in. Look here, my man, you knew your mama was like that. You knew your mama liked to be overly involved in your situation, your relationship. Why didn't you take a drive? You and your girl said, let's go talk, and we're going to take a drive. Get away from mama and have this conversation so she can express herself, you can express herself, and come together and have some type of understanding and try to come up with an exit plan. Yeah, we need the house as soon as possible. But now he's pleading with his mama. Come on, mama. You know I love her. Come on, mama. You ain't got to do all this. You ain't got to tell all the business I told you. It's too late now. Mama loved to gossip. That's all she ever done. Gossip. I promise you, if your daddy wasn't no good, she told you all about it. She didn't let you find that out for yourself. She told it. I bet you her sister in the choir knows about you and your girlfriend's business because she went to church at the choir rehearsal on Thursday and told it. She letting it be known. She ain't holding water. Everybody know your goddamn business. The bingo hall girls know the business. The church choir girls know the business. You know what I'm saying? Her social club girls know the business. Her friends that work at the water cooler, they know goddamn business. And you was wrong because you told your mammy the business. That's what it started off. You told her that shit. And now she's going to throw it in your face. She's going to make you feel some type of way. And guess what? You telling all that, she ain't got no respect for that girl. Why? Because she feel like that girl disrespecting her son, or taking advantage of her son, or using her son. So what's she going to do? Say everything, unfiltered, say what you want. But dog, he needs to be a man and stand up on that position. And say, Mama, we can't keep doing this. Look, we at her. And look, I hope we can stay the night in that house. Especially after that situation. We're going to have to get a hotel, whether we can afford it or not. We got to get away from Mama and get along so we can have some one-on-one conversation and try to figure this shit out. What's our next plan? Him as a man, that's what needs to be happening. He need to be calling hotels right in and there. Look, let me go find us. We can get away for a couple days. We can figure some shit out and go from there. But I doubt if he did that. He probably went over and smoothed things over Mama, and his mama probably gave a discount. I'm sorry. I should have been so mean and nasty. But the situation still ain't handled. She still got that same attitude. Just because she apologized, don't mean she really moved it. So yeah, everything's bad about that. But like Ricky y'all said, I hold that man accountable. That's all on him. He should have put his foot down a long time ago. But he was comfortable. He thought everything was hunky dory because I ain't got to spend all my money. Only thing I got to do is pay my phone bill and give Mama a little portion on the rent. And we get to eat, shit, sleep, and do all that for free. Man, that's crazy. Lack of leadership in him.
Have you guys ever had to respectfully tell your mom to mind her business? Just shortly put. Just have you ever had?
I wasn't respectful with it.
Oh, okay.
Because she wasn't respectful. So
yeah, I think I shared that. I've had one time that my mom's respectfully told me that somebody wasn't good for me, and in the end, she was right, but she did it in a respectful way, so I didn't have to like check her on it, and I was actually glad that I listened to her advice.
I had to do it a couple times. Once with my aunt and once with my mama. You know, because she, my ex-wife, she really liked it. My daughter's mother, and was always wanted us to get married, but it just didn't work out like that. And she would say slick stuff. Well, where's my my baby mama's her name? I said, I ain't been with her over 3 or 4 years. Why you keep bringing that shit up, especially in front of my ex-wife at the time? Why are you doing that? Disrespect. Don't do it again, Mom. So I had to check her, but I had to check my aunt just this year. This year I had to check her. She said, because my aunt has a real close relationship with my ex-wife. They still connect today. I said, and I tell my aunt, I don't have no problem with that. Y'all, that's our relationship. Has nothing to do. But I'm not with her no more. So when it was Christmas time to go over, she said, my lady, is not welcome to come over because of the relationship that she had. I said, well, look, I said, this year's the last year I'll be over if my woman's no longer welcome. If she's not welcome, I'm not welcome. So I won't be over her. I'm not going to just stop by. I'm not going to drop the gifts off. I'm not coming at all. And I told her that. I don't play that shit. I don't play it. I don't give a damn. My mama, aunt, it doesn't matter. I don't disrespect you. Don't disrespect me. Now, if you like or not, that's all. You could put on the whole front if you need to. But if you're going to sit there and say she can't come, now, well, guess what? We're going to start a different tradition. We're going to start our own shit. I ain't got to come over for Christmas dinner no more. We can have it at the Hinks household. No problem. I got plenty of space.
Wow. She's trying to say you wasn't invited to the wedding like the girl in the front. No, I'm just kidding. But again, these things happen in real life, and you have to be able to handle the situations. And I don't think that respectfully telling someone that they need to, adhere to your boundaries, or that they need to, let things go, or let the past be the past, or just keep their business, because that's not your business no more, right? You're not with them no more. So, that's not your business. But if they're not welcoming you and who you're with, then I would agree. I mean, family, you born into family, but sometimes family you got to separate and put some distance in between because they don't know how to, they do not know how to respect boundaries sometimes, and you have to continue to let them know that you're not allowing this boundary to be crossed because it's not good for your well-being or your significant others, and that's what the priority is. Sean, did you want to weigh in on this? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah, you asked a question. Have we ever checked? Absolutely. I've checked mothers, brothers, sister. I don't got no sister, but friends, enemies. I check myself. So yes, I have, and I tried not to make it disrespectful. But do I address it? Absolutely. I said it kind of. I was responding to one of the gentlemen in a check who said, "Who are you to judge jury?" I'm not a jury. I make observations and I share those observations honestly. Whether you like it or not is not really my concern. And and that's just where I stand. Now you can rebuttal and share what your observations and whether I like it or not is not your concern. So it goes both ways. It's not just like one way or the other. But I think the thing that I'm advocating and what I'm sharing is checking is just basically, or confrontation is just basically confronting the falsehoods or confronting where there's an issue. And am I confrontational? Absolutely. I try not to be combative though.
I believe in being however you want to be however you need to be to get the message across. Right. With my mom, you try to be respectful and understanding as a son, but when she's still staying out of pocket, it's time for me to get out of pocket. Right. When it came to my wife and she kept on with the jibber jab, I was like, I'm gonna have to cut you off, G. What you mean? I'm gonna have to cut you off. I'm gonna be the husband that you couldn't have for my wife.
Woo, Rick.
That's deep.
Say it again, Rick.
I'm drop on that one.
I've been in a situation with my mom, and I feel that you should always keep the line with honoring your mother and your father and stuff like that. And I've learned my trigger points. And if you're not saying anything, if we're on the phone and it's going that way, I listen. I'll talk to you another time. Click. If you're doing it face to face, I'm gonna walk away from you mid sentence. You're gonna understand that type of behavior I'm setting boundaries on, and I love you. And that's what I didn't see from the young man, because he was still looking for an okay from his mom rather than saying, this is not okay. This is the woman I love. I pay bills in here. I am allowed to have my woman live in peace with me. Mom, I love you, but you're overstepping your bounds. That's what I was waiting to hear, and I didn't hear it.
She ain't gonna live in peace in there.
I'm giving you a caveat. Suppose you are saving up. Suppose she is your woman. She did say she have an online business. We really don't know how they're putting the money together. They could be stacking paper. Like I know people that do that. They went back with family, stacked paper. They had a setback so that they can have a great comeback. If I look at it, I'm gonna look at it optimistically. She didn't disrespect the mom. She at least gets points for that. That shows at least the quality of the decorum of respect that she's wishing to show.
Yeah, but that's the same exact reason why you shouldn't bring her in with your unruly mother, because obviously she seems like she's the opposite of your mom. She seems like she's peaceful. She seems like she's level-headed, whereas your mom don't care. She's you came for me. I feel like you're with him for his money. No, mom, you're with him for his money. You're with him for his money.
I get what you're saying.
So
and that's valid.
It just seems like, I don't think that the man is getting himself together. You don't have to bring her along with you. She don't have to live in your mama house with you. that's why I said, where is her family, or because she had to agree to that too. She had to agree to be there with him and his mom. So it's like, did she not know what she was getting into? How long have they been together? How long has this been the dynamic going this way? But I don't think that he should have ever moved her in there with him while he's trying to save up money and get himself together. That's the only other reason why he would be at his mom's house.
I mean, and what's crazy is y'all act like y'all don't know who y'all mama is.
Right.
I get that point. But we don't know the schematics of how that played out. And I could look at it, I could even flip the coin this way. She's getting it together. I'm getting it together. We sat down, we made a bond. We're going to get it from the mud. Rough situation with mom. There's no other place to go. So we got to rough it until such times. And I know you've heard of situations like that. You might not be in the best situation, but you got to eat crow until you're able to get out of that nest and deal with what you have to deal with until such time, because not everything is clean, is straight lace and clean cut.
That's why I blame him.
Yeah, you got to eat that. But look, if you're in the situation, she's saying he's paying bills, right? So he's doing his part. She ain't got an issue with that. She's head on with the lady. I got to clean up behind you. You nasty, this, that. That's my son. He's mine. That sounds like the reverse of an Oedipus complex. Mama in love with her son. Don't want you.
I agree.
They had nothing else.
So there'll be no peace in that house regardless, right? Because the truth is, nasty to a woman who don't like somebody is just you not cleaning up the way she like, right? You don't put the dishes here. Why you leave a rag in the sink and not hang it on the side of the sink, right? Let's talk about it, right?
My mama always told me you can't have two women in the kitchen. It's like,
you see what I'm saying? It's like, and this is what I'm saying. Like, I understand what everybody's saying, because if that's your girlfriend, right, that is different to me. If this is my wife, it's a whole different ball of wax. You know what I'm saying? If it's my wife, it's a whole different ball of wax. A girlfriend can come and go, right? But if this was these man's intents that he's looking to wed her, he's supposed to cleave to her, not your mama. Not your mama, right? So again, for him, and this is just me being honest, right? And this I'm speaking from my perspective. I can only speak from what I know and see in life, right? From my experience, right? And just like y'all said, like just like he said, more than likely he's having conversation with his mom about his girl, right? More than likely, right? For her to say that out front in front of them in that setting, I gotta go 99% that him and his mom has already talked about it or discussed it in some form or fashion, right? So that means that man already know how his mother feels about his girl. Why are you still there if you're looking to make this woman your wife? You're putting her in a bad situation, and you're not going to have peace either way. It said a man should rather sleep on a roof in the rain, right, than under the roof with an unruly woman, correct?
On a rooftop.
The Bible didn't say, "Oh, my bad, asterisk, I don't mean your mama." That your mother is exempt. Your mother a woman too. That's all I'm saying. Once we become adults, right? And again, like I said, the only reason that young man is taking that abuse and his girlfriend is because more than likely that man depends on his mother for something.
Shelter.
Right? He depends on her. That's the reason why most people stay in relationships and be where they ain't loved or where they not appreciated and accepted, because there's a benefit so great you can't do it on your own, or you don't want to do it on your own. Right? Ain't no mama's knows best. If your mama knew better, she'd have gave you a different daddy. Right? Your mama only know what she know. Just like you only know what you know. Your mother is not a god. She is not a genius. She does not have emotional intelligence, nor do they have this so-called intuition. It doesn't exist. It's a lie. Mamas make mistakes the same way daddies make mistakes. It's just that the daddy's mistakes way heavier because, like I said, this is how you know God is a man, because everybody blame God for everything any damn way.
You know what's interesting about? I'm gonna tap into what he was saying as well. We said that they was in there trying to get things together. They might have been putting things together. Well, as a man, realize this. Part of putting or getting things together is helping mom get together, because it's obvious you don't got it together. And as a man, he should be able to address that with her so that she can as well get it together. And maybe they need to financially get it together, but according to how she was addressing things, she needs to mentally get it together. And he, as a man, her son or what have you, needs to be able to address that with her, and possibly they all can get it together collectively.
Well, I don't think, women can raise men. So he needs a man, honestly, in my opinion, to help him get it together and get on the right track. Because if he stays on the track that his mother has him on, he's never going to have peace, and he's never going to attract someone who is settled, because he's going to always be attracted to that motherly, the motherly form of, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this, I need you to do this, you need to fill this out, you need to, he's going to be attracted to that if he continues, honestly, in my opinion, to be under his mother's tutelage. I think he needs to be under a man. If he's trying to get his stuff together, he needs a man to help him map out a plan. Because with mom, it's just, you here so you could pay, help me pay bills. While you living here, you're going to pay bills. But, he also still needs to save. He already has a liability, which is the girl. You know what I mean? So I honestly think that she done took him as far as she could take him. He needs a solid man in his life. Solid man to say, hey, look, this is how you should be moving in life going forward.
Okay, Precious, I'll grant you that, but really, it's not he needs a solid man, she needs a solid, and that's the point that I was making. Whether it's him or whether it's she needs a solid man.
She as in the girlfriend or the mom?
The mother needs a solid man.
Look again. She done lived her life, and if she hasn't gotten the solid man, then that's not her son's fault. I think that she's going to continue to spew probably her bitterness and anguish of not having a solid man in her life, and she's gonna take it out on him or whoever he brings around, is like she is doing. But I wanted to read some of these comments, and then we're going to move on to the next topic. And then after that, we have our final topic. So we have Frenchie K, who says the mom was out of order and the son was too nice. We're just going to put nice for not checking that behavior and removing them from the situation. So yeah, she definitely was out of order. But again, she probably didn't feel like she was out of order, because she felt like, this is my house, these are my rules, I could do what in a small way, she is correct. But at the same time, you just can't talk to people however you want to talk to them just because, they're underneath your roof. You have an adult son now. So WTF, she asks for that, knowing he lives with his mama. If his mom lives with him, she out of line. He needs to check her. Yeah, I think they're living with the mama. Son, husband. I couldn't be with him as a girlfriend or wife. He's not strong enough for me. He's just not in a place right now where he can really cultivate an environment for a woman, but the girl probably agreed to move in with him and his mom and help him build, which, most men want. Hey, are you going to help me build and things like that? But it's like, we can't have any interferences either. If you're going to be in this with me, then we need to be in this, and we can't have your mom interfering. She can't be disrespectful to me either. Jason says he moved a woman who is not his wife in with his mom. Mom allowed it. Mom don't have no man. If mom had a man, the man would have been like, she ain't moving up in here. She not coming up in here. You can stay here and do what you need to do to save your money and get out there and buy your own place and settle in on your own and get a job and have a normalcy for yourself. But she not coming up in here. If a man was in that house, I don't think it would have happened. Andre says, you don't respect titles. Don't take this dude anywhere. As Sean, it's not your job to judge, jury, and executioner. I think you addressed that already, though. A Rose from Rebel Podcast says, true, Kenny, his mom doesn't view him as a man. Yeah, not a man that anybody else can have, child. Even that loan is cringe. He came from me as if she owns him for life. Right. Okay. Mom is tired of her son being used, but they shouldn't be living there if that's the case. All right, we're going to move on to this next topic because it's of a young man, and he actually is not, something his mother said rubbed him the wrong way. And I wanted to play this for you guys because I wonder if other men feel this way. I wonder if this is something that men do feel at some point in their life, but they may not have heard what his mom said to him. So let me play it so y'all can hear it and then come to your conclusions.
Pulled me aside. I was having an argument with my stepdad, and I went to my mom looking for support, and I asked her to support me. I was like, do you love me? Right? Do you love me, or do you love dad more? And she looked at me and she was like, of course I love your dad more than I love you, because you're my son. I have to love you. You were born to me. I must love you, but it's a choice to love your dad. So I have to love him more because it's a choice. And for me, I will never forget that conversation. I'll never forget the look on my mom's face. It was so simple and so academic and so clear to her. And it's never been something I could ever actually accept. And even now, as a husband and a father myself, I don't understand how that was logically sound to her. I don't know how you could ever actually prioritize who you love.
So what do you guys think about that? The mom said, he was talking to the stepdad and then, turned to the mom and he needed her support. And, to get to the bottom of it, he goes, Mom, do you love me? You know what I mean? If you love me, support me. Do you love me? And she goes, well, I love your dad more.
Wow. He logically said it. Biblically, there are things that lean towards that. And quite frankly, he was in his feelings. And if that's what his mother should be doing, she should be loving her husband more than her child. Of course, her child is unconditional. That love you don't remove that. And the funny thing is, I agree, she should be loving her husband just as unconditionally. But I like the logic that she said, I chose to love him. You're somebody I'm unconditionally supposed to love. I thought it was very logical and biblical, according to what scripture says.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I don't know how old he was when this situation came up. I don't know if it was like something recent, but to say a grown man is your child, that sounds crazy to me. Because when you sit there and say that's my child, then guess what? They're gonna act like a kid. No. That's my son. That's not my child, even though technically he is. But those are not the words you need to address if he's an adult. Now, if he's an underage kid, he's under age 18. Okay, I'm gonna give that to him. But if he's a grown man like he is now, you're my son. You're not my child no more. You're a grown ass man. You're my adult son. How about I give you that title? I'm not gonna give you a child. No, that's when I'm thinking about a child. I'm thinking about somebody 5 or 6 or 10 years old running around here tearing up my house. That's what I'm thinking about. If I went out and describe somebody, my child, they're going to just assume you talk about somebody young. No, I'm talking about grown-ass adult son. That's what it is. So adjustment is that But like I said, it depends on how old he was. If he put his mother in that situation where he's forcing us to choose, he's dead wrong. Especially if he's a grown-ass man. Why would you put your mom in that position to choose like that? To choose you over a husband? He wrong. He wrong. You got into argue with the man. I don't know what it was about, you know. But you're gonna ask for to support you. Support you how? She should support her husband. Now, if her husband wrong, she should have a conversation with him later. You know what I'm saying? After everything's cool off, said and done, we are home alone and everybody else is gone, and she don't agree with him, she should have had a conversation later with him. Say, hey, baby, I don't agree with you. You was wrong how you came at Joshua. You shouldn't have did that. But she shouldn't have been disrespectful, because that's what he wanted. He wanted her to be disrespectful in front of him, in front of husband, in front of, you know, so he could see, you know, my mama support me over you. You ain't shit. You just stepdaddy. No. That would have been a bad night for her if she did that shit to me. You support my son? She said, yes, I support you. Bitch, get on out with your son then. Go on. Take your ass on. I don't want to see you the rest of the night. No, hell no. Shouldn't put him in that position. He's a selfish ass boy. You know what I'm saying? Spoiled and probably entitled. But no, you should put a kid shouldn't be put in that position. They should put the parents in that position. That's dead wrong for that shit. So she right. I support my husband what he stands. And if she's something she really don't agree with later, she address it then. But not in front of that boy, not in front of her son. They got to look like a united front all the way through. And like him saying, as a man, as a son, a father now, and got a wife, that shit gonna come back on your ass. How you gonna feel? Now, I ain't about stepdaddy or nothing like that, but that's really how you gonna feel if your wife undercutted you and did that. I support baby girl or our son. You gonna look at it like crazy. Now that karma gonna get you. I landed there.
Yeah, shout out to her. That's a wife.
Why the fuck?
That's a wife, right? That's a wife. She's a wife. W-I-F-E, wife. Let me explain something to y'all, right? And most women have a hard problem with dealing with this. And I understand, because y'all mothers, y'all carry that child for 9 months. Y'all grow an attachment. What you eat, that baby eats, right? What you breathe and smell, that baby smells, right? But them kids gonna leave y'all by y'all motherfucking self once they get grown. That's the one thing I can guarantee you. Your kids will go out and get a life of their own. And mama and daddy will be the least of their troubles. But what do people continue to do, right? Even at the fella in the video, I still don't understand it. So you still willing to put your children, right? Your children above in priority to the person you looking to spend the rest of your life with? Because when you gone, right? When you and your mate gone, your kids gonna live their life on if you're lucky enough, right? Because nobody want to bury their own children. Facts. Right? But a lot of times when these kids get born, they get put on the front burner while your partner get put on the back burner. And what happens then? Resentment gets built, and that's when y'all be turning around, and it's been 25 years turning around like, oh, I'm getting a divorce because I never was a priority. Right? You take from me, but you don't give me nothing. This man is out working, supporting a stepson. A stepson. And you try to pull a power play with his mama when this man the one taking care of all y'all. And you still don't understand it because you was such a fucking brat when you was growing up. You thought your mama was supposed to disregard her husband because you was in your motherfucking feelings. Your kids will go to build a life of their own. And you will have just as much say as they in their lives as they had in the decisions you made. And what y'all tell kids, you can't tell me what to do. What? I'm grown.
Yeah. It sounded like there was something that, to me, it sounded like he needed therapy or something. Like it seemed like something was missing from him, and like he felt as though his mom was prioritizing something above him, which she should. That's her husband. But it seems as though he didn't understand it, as if she did it more than just that one time in his life, as if she didn't support him. And like you said, Uncle Rick, you know, the stepdad is coming in and supporting all of you guys, which he doesn't have to do. And I think that sometimes, you know, if you don't grow up under the order, if you don't, you know, if that order is not, and discipline is not instilled in your home, then I think that parents or children can misunderstand and misplace the love that parents have for them. I know growing up, my mom and dad, they would never let me and my brother get in the way of their marriage. It was just that just was that, like, told us to our face. Like, it's always going to be me and her. Don't think that you, yeah, and I was adopted. Don't think that you're going to come up in here and change things because of the situation or what it is. No, that's my wife. We are the home front. Everything goes through us. So, you know, it just seems as though there's something that's missing within that man that I don't even think that his mom can even fill for him. There's something that he was going through as a child that it sounds like now he wants his mom to, you know, have this overpouring of love for him. I wanted to put this up here because a lot of people don't realize that there are 8 different types of love. Eros, which is a sexual passion. Philia, which is a deep friendship. Ludus, playful love. Agape, which is love for everyone. Pragma, long-standing love. Felucia, love of the self. Storge, family love. And mania, obsessive love. So, you know, there are so many different types of love, and the love that you have for your children isn't going to be the love that you have for your spouse. It's going to be different love, just like the love that you have, you know, for your children is not going to be the same love that you have for a family member, or, you know, the levels of love and the playing field of love is just not the same all the way in love, unless you're talking about agape love and you have that love for everyone. Everyone should have agape love. You should love everyone. You should treat people how you want to be treated. But you're not going to have the eros love for your child. That's a sexual passion love. You know what I mean? You're not going to have that love for your child. So I think sometimes the love gets misplaced. But in my opinion, listening to that clip, it just feels as though there is something that he's missing, that he's expecting his mom to fill. And he's an adult now. He's a father now. He is a husband now. And he's like, I would never tell my children that. And when you hear someone speak in extremes like that, it's because they lack something. When they say, oh, I'm never going to do this, especially basing it off of something in their childhood, oh, I'm never going to do that to my child, or I'm never going to say that to that child. It's because they lack something and they don't want their child to go through what they went through, not realizing that they have to get through what they're going through. He's not finished going through whatever he's going through. He hasn't gotten through it yet. And he's going to push it onto his kids now. And now his kids will have the possibility to run his marriage because of what he didn't get settled in his childhood from his mom.
You know something, Purchase? That man should have had a conversation with his goddamn daddy. If he had an issue, you know, with the situation, and talk to his daddy about that shit. And maybe his daddy can explain it to him to where he's understanding, and where he'll respect his daddy's answer. Now, I don't know the situation or relationship. I don't have no idea, but that's what he probably should have done. Had a conversation with the mama, and don't try to play sides on them. No, you don't interfere with nobody's marriage. I'm sure you wouldn't want nobody to interfere with your marriage like that, and say something like, say your girlfriend's sister. You wouldn't want to say, well, you need to pick between your sister and me, who you love, and you need to take my side. It should be automatic. Take your wife's side, regardless of, even if she's wrong. Don't do it right then there on the spot. address it later, correct her later, get in her ass later. But on the spot, y'all need to be a united front. I don't care what's going on. Be a united front, because that's going to show you to each other, I have your back, you have mine. We will talk about it later. You was dead wrong when we in the car. Baby, you goddamn wrong. Why would you say that shit? But on that point, I'm going to stand with my wife. Another thing is, we talked about this on Sunday. I don't know if you was able to tune in or anybody was able to tune in. We talked about how parents, and this more so on the last conversation, how parents would like overstep their boundaries in a kid's life and try to control and do all that. We talked about that on Sunday, man. And so it's kind of funny just seeing these clips and seeing and talking about it now. But I'll land it there. Well, King, you ready to fight? You ready to fight now? You ready to fight? King, ready to fight?
Man, yeah. I have a thing, and guess a me thing of just wrong is wrong. Like, I'm not gonna try to correct it's difficult trying to balance that. Like, I'm not gonna stand with wrong, but I'm not trying to embarrass us either. So I'm gonna have to be like, hey, look, withdraw your ass over here and correct it later. But to stand with wrong, that ain't something that I rock with.
You're not standing. Well, you just setting you're showing you're a united front. That's what I'm saying, King. You're showing even if she's on a united front and for whoever the audience, whatever the case may be. But you correct it. As soon as we get in the car, you let baby girl know, hey, baby, you're wrong. Even if that means I need for you to apologize later, then you gotta make it happen. You gotta bend the knee.
I'm tracking.
Take one for the team and apologize. Like, if that's what you got to do. But on that point, we have to look like we on the same page, on the same front. Doesn't matter. Optics, the security that woman's going to feel in you that you got her back. And after you talk, if she's a real one, she'll realize, yeah, I fucked up. I was wrong. And you ain't got to say much. You ain't got to keep the conversation going. Okay, I appreciate you, babe. Now, I think maybe tomorrow you might want to give a call or go over tomorrow and and bend the knee and apologize, because you shouldn't have did that. See, you ain't always got to fight me, King. Not every conversation we have to have a fight. Ain't good.
Hey, man, I'm just trying to get my struggle beard as majestic as yours, brother.
Keep working on it, brother. It happened.
Yes, sir.
All right. Did anybody else want to chime in on this with this man not understanding why his mother loves his father more? And I think it could have been the word more too. I think it's just a different type of love, honestly. It's just differently. She still loves you, bro. She just loves you in a different way than she loves her husband, and that's natural. That's going to be natural. I think the more, like I said, I think he's lacking something. So when the word more comes up, it's almost like, well, you're not giving me what I need. You know what I mean? I honestly think he needs to go sit down and talk to a therapist or something, because there's something, or like Hank said, he needs to talk to his father, because now this is a stepfather. So this isn't his biological father. So, you have a man coming in, taking care of you and your mom. Again, a man that don't have to do it at all whatsoever. He's choosing to do this. He's choosing to love you. He's choosing to love your mother, just like your mother is choosing to love him. You have to ask yourself, what happened, Dad? Are you around? What's going on? Why'd you leave? What happened? Like, you know what I mean? Y'all need to talk about some man stuff, because I think he's looking at his mother in a negative light. And it's not all on her. There's two people raising him, and plus a third who's trying to be in his life too. Sean, did you want to say something? I saw you come off the mic. If not, we're gonna go.
Yeah. I just want to say, for the record, this is a time where all the men agreed against another man, seeing that people don't think that that's possible. Luckily, Payne ain't here, because we probably would have had some pushback. But all of us have agreed against this man who acted like a little boy.
I didn't.
Well, state your piece. State your piece.
Do you know who that man is? His name is Andrew Bustamante, a CIA covert intelligence officer.
He is? That's who that is?
The day where
Yes,
my
that
mom pulled
is.
me aside, I was having an argument with my stepdad.
You
Oh,
can
wow.
look it up right now and get his face. Andrew Bustamante. He was
Okay.
a covert spy. You know how you have to get there and what mental evaluations you have to do to get to where he was to play spy versus spy and be able to be in and out of certain places. He's had an extensive career now. He has his own privatized company. But back to the man that still holds scars from being a boy and feeling that his mom chose a man over him. You know, certain scars can either break you down or fuel you. That fuel could be dark and drive you to places and push you to be successful. I think he's still, the way he said it, his tonality is like that's something that he recalls and he just got caught in the moment of remembering how he felt at that point in time. But I think that was the fuel that got him to where he is in life right now. Being able to detach from something, even though he felt that way. What if he said, all I have is me? I'm going to be that thing and not look for anything to nurture me. I can stand alone and be anything I need to be. And in an abstract way, that pushed him to be the successful man that he is presently. Again, his name is Andrew Bustamante. You might want to look him up and see that interesting story that follows him. He used to be an Air Force officer as well. But I get what you're saying.
And I get what you're saying too when you say, you know, all I have is me, but he also has a family. You know, he has a wife, he has children. And I think sometimes we look at things and think that, you know, God did a mistake by not giving a certain person certain things that we expect from them, not realizing that God also fills our lives with people in, you know, different places that do give you that fulfillment that you're looking for, but you're not looking at it like that. You know, you're not necessarily looking at it in that way. And I guess I could say that just because of just how I grew up. You know, I didn't grow up with my biological parents, but God still made sure I had parents. Like, you know what I mean? So you sometimes we got to take certain things and look at them differently. Because if you continuously looking at the glass half empty, then you're never going to see it getting full at any point in time. And he may be, you know, successful and things like that, but you have a family and you have a wife who is now here for you to love, for you to, you know, be the head of that household. And whatever you lacked or whatever you didn't get in your childhood shouldn't be fuel as if, oh, I would never, you know, I would never say that to my child, but in a way of, you know, life is about transformation. So if you know that you didn't get that from, you know, your mom, and honestly, he was looking for his mom to say a certain thing. So it's not that his mom didn't love him. It's not that his mom, you know, didn't show him love and things of that nature, but he wanted his mom to say what he wanted his mom to say. And when she said what she said, it probably caught him off guard. Like, what do you mean you love him more? I could never say that. I'm a husband and I'm a dad, and I would never. But again, I think that is misplaced emotion. And sometimes, again, we don't see the things that God gives us to fill us up and to replace the things that we feel as though that we're lacking. It takes a lot of maturity and a lot of, I would say, solitude to get to that place. And so, in his profession, you said that he's a CIA spy. You know, sometimes
He
people
was.
choose choose to be alone or choose to, you know, have professions where they're, you know, not around a lot of people or they have to figure things out on their own because they're still in that it's only me, it's only gonna be me, when life has presented you with people in your life to love you and for you to love them. But because the love wasn't what you thought it could be or what you thought it should be from your mom, this is going to stay with you with in the relationships. A lot of our wounds come from our childhood. They start there, you know. Um and if you're not looking at it in a healthy way, then you're going to look like your mom is doing you a disservice because she said that she loves your stepdad more. And so, I don't know, not CIA spy, whatever he did become or is or whatever the case may be, you could tell that he's still yearning, looking for something, and can't believe that his mom said that to him, even at his grown age.
I
And I'm not
think
saying that you can't express how you feel and go down memory lane. Um, but again, it's driving him to not do that with his kids, and he's married. And again, they might trigger his kids to be able to get, into his marriage or to be a priority over his marriage because he felt as though his mom didn't prioritize him in her marriage. So it becomes a cycle. No matter what you become, no matter how much money you make, no matter, who knows your name, who don't know your name, those things follow you.
I would think
Precious, I don't think you could have said it any better. And it lends to the point that I was saying about respecting titles. Albeit he might be very well respected at his job, but sometimes those people uh, are absent from what it takes to have a good structure in a family setting. Specifically, what you were describing, as far as what spies might need to do, is separating themselves, and that separation lends to absence. That absence lends to some of the things that Precious was just speaking to. So, not to say that he has that or not, but just because he's successful in one area does not negate the fact that it could be dysfunctional in another place or in the space of building a strong family structure. To Precious' point that she was just making. So, Grant, I'll give him kudos and everything for what he's achieved at his job. But the job of being a father is what we were speaking to, and the job of being a son to a mother who has a husband is what we were speaking to, and that's what we were addressing directly, not the fact that he's not successful in other areas.
Sean, all of that is encompassing within the discussion. I get what the point of view that Precious has. I believe that he's made the necessary strides because everyone is a flawed product as long as you're on God Green's or until you make it to the pine box. I believe I watched a whole interview of him going over soup to nuts as for how he got into the military, how he got to that elite position, how he chose to move away from it and become a homemaker, have a private company, and so on and so forth. So as for me having more information than you guys, I believe he's successful at being a dad and father, but there are certain things that you may not correct. Here's the caveat. If you let that thing control how you move forward, he's a successful dad. He's a good father. He's an entrepreneur, businessman, took what he knew and made his own company, and he's doing quite well. I'll leave the door open that a percentage of him, he may be holding on to certain things, but there's a lot of things that you may not change. He may prescribe to being a man of faith or agnostic, but nonetheless, I get where you guys are going with it. There's two different point of views. We don't know unless we're inside that person, but it makes for great conversation.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So is everybody done with that one? All right. We're going to get to the main topic. I'm actually going to take these away so I don't get them mixed up. All right, so everybody, make sure you hit that like button. Definitely let us know if you're enjoying the show. I appreciate everyone who is in the chat. Y'all are definitely participating, so I appreciate you. Thank you very much. You could be anywhere, but you decided to be here on Monday night, chilling with us, having these conversations. So it's been hearsay that Tia Mowry wants to get back with Corey. I do have a couple clips that I want to play. But definitely want to get you guys' take on it. I have my own take on it, but definitely want to get you guys' opinion of this because Tia Mowry was married for 14 years. She was with Corey, I believe, for a total of, 18 years. Married for 14. They got divorced. They have 2 children. Everyone knows the way that Tia Mowry was in social media and how she spoke about her divorce and how it was a graduation and, pretty much how she just had a tour of explaining why she got divorced and why she is out here single now. But I do have a couple clips that I do want to play. I'm trying to see something here because I do want this to be a call-in show. So I want to post the number. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to play these clips and we're going to get into it. Here, hold on, let me pause it because that's a very short clip. But this is her doing like a parody on TikTok or Instagram. And the caption below of the picture pretty much says that she is 40 and she's now in these dating streets and she didn't think it would be this difficult. She's nervous and terrified of doing the whole dating thing. She going to trust God and all that good stuff in that dating, in that blob down there. But this is a full clip.
In the dating world now.
Oh my God!
What is it like out there for a single woman?
Shot of tequila? No. No,
I haven't been single for 5 years, so I don't know what this world is like out there. But I know, but from what I see and from what I hear, it is tough.
It is very tough. I will say I've only been in the dating world for, I want to say 3 months now, and it is exhausting.
It's exhausting.
I want to throw the towel in. I'm like, what is wrong with I will say this.
Okay.
Someone had told me, and I wanted to be like, no, I disagree with you, and I don't want to believe it. They were like, you just, because my last relationship when dating was, when I was, dating this person, it was beautiful. It was amazing. It was wonderful. There was courting that was, involved. And I was saying how I feel like that's no longer, present, meaning like people just don't court each other anymore. And this person was like, well, that's old news. Like people just don't do that anymore. There's just this whole new way of doing things. And I'm like, you mentioned tradition, and I think that's where it kind of needs to go back, where, a man is, courting a woman and showing her, how much he appreciates her and wants her and loves her, or wants to be with her. And I feel like what's happening now, and again, I've only been in the world for a few months, is they have this mentality right off the bat that there is someone else. Do you know what I mean? Like there could be someone else.
Is it that they're the prize?
Yes.
We talking deep here.
Yes.
We about to get into it.
Oh my God, that the man is the prize.
The man is the prize.
Yes. I'm talking loud. Yes. That is so true. Like they've taken it off of
the woman.
Marriage is work.
And that's
marriage is work.
it
I'm
is.
not here. Let me.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm not gonna be here like everything is, bro. You have to work hard, to stay married, and stay together. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so the question is, do you guys think that they should get back together? And of course, this is conversation. We can't talk on anybody's marriage, but for conversation purposes, do you guys think that they should get back together? King.
No. My observation of their relationship is that she wanted something different. She wanted something different. It seemed as though she wanted something better. I don't know jack squat about either one of those two. What I do know about her is that she lives a very public life, and what she chooses to share is very public. And while Corey is a actor in his own right, a lot private about him. If you try to look up anything about his views on anything that he's done outside of it being with him and his now ex-wife, you're not going to find anything. And to me, that's kind of eye-opening, right? If they were to get back together and this man were to accept her for whatever his reasons are, it just there's not a reason for me that makes sense, and it would be something that I couldn't understand. So to your question, should he accept her if that was a real life thing that occurred? No.
All right. So
Okay.
no.
My human, emotional, manly, I don't know what other says hell no. My spiritual pulls at me to say if there's a chance for forgiveness for the marriage, or that's the spiritual side. But I'm human right now, and so my human side is tugging away against my spiritual side. Let the Lord forgive her, man. Move on. But again, that's my human and emotional point of view.
Okay. Thank you, Sean. Kenny, what do you think? You think they should get back together or no?
You went and broke the covenant. You saw the grass wasn't greener on the other side. Whatever issues they had, they should have been able to work out as husband and wife. You didn't have the faith nor grit to stick it out and make it work. You wanted to go out there and dip out, stay out there. I wasn't the one that left. No. Go live by your mother.
Ooh, not by the mother, huh? All right. Rick, what do you think, Uncle Ricky?
I believe, right? I believe that that's your girl, right? That's your girl. She's broken. She's broken, right? She ain't no good to nobody. But she divorced him. She divorced him. You went out there and saw it wasn't what you thought it was, and now you want to circle back. That y'all know what that really mean, though? Y'all know what that really saying? She divorced that man for no reason. That's what it's really saying. And let's throw out the social media embarrassment, right? The innuendos, right? The long haiku and soliloquies, right? Let's throw that out, right? You separated yourself from your husband, not just you, but your children. Tore family down for no reason other than you didn't feel like being married at the time. That's it. All these horror stories we hear about men. Oh, he this and this, that, and this. But it's funny how women always circling back, ain't it? Ain't it funny how they always spinning the block on the same dude they was with? But the story they tell y'all, it's the most extreme case of 2012 y'all ever seen in y'all life. When she was with that man, the earth was falling, the volcanoes was erupting, planes was diving from the air. Leave her where she at. Leave her where she's at. She's a miserable woman. She's a miserable woman. She don't care about your children. She don't care about you. All she care about is how she feels in the moment. And a woman like that is good for no one. Nobody. And she out here, she built like an old white grandmama trying to show out. Chill out, chick.
All right. Hank, what do you think? Should they get back together or no?
So let me say this. It's funny. I was in that same situation. 2016, January 2016, my divorce was finalized. 2018, me and my ex tried to get back together and make it right for the family. But I had a lot of rules and regulations, stipulations in order to make it happen. And unfortunately, she couldn't do it. So we never got remarried, but that was the plan. 2020, we dissolved it. It just ain't gonna work. It just ain't gonna work. You're not willing to do the things that I need for you to do. And I told her, I'm not going to remarry you. We could play boyfriend girlfriend if you want to. But I'm not going to remarry you. And she said, there's no need us being together. I said, oh, I'm okay with that too. And we went our separate ways. So did I try? Yes. And I tried to do it for the betterment of the family. Just didn't work. So let me say this. I have no problem with them trying. I have no problem with them putting effort. But I think, what's his name? Corey, I think that's his name. You need some rules and regulations, some boundaries, some standards that you have to have. And things got to be changed. A lot of it has to be changed in order for things for y'all to get back together. And I would present that to her. And if she's not willing to change, then keep it moving. I wouldn't remarry her until I see them change and it's consistent. Not just doing it for 2 or 3 months. I need years. It may take 3 years before I remarry you. But if that's what it takes, and these are my rules and regulations, my stipulations, then so be it. If you can't honor that, then we can't be together.
So I appreciate everyone's responses. I started to talk about this Sunday live on Instagram. I was taking a walk in the park and getting some fresh air, listening to church and things like that. But I believe that they should try to work it out. I really do. Now I know that Tia's disrespect and disdain for her husband has been very loud, and so I believe that if they're going to work it out, then she needs to be just as loud with reconciliation with him. She needs to be just as loud with that because you think about it, she talks about she shouldn't be back with him because it's hard out here dating and things like that, even though that is facts and that's reality for her. But you had a husband, you had children with him. I believe I want to say he was one of her only boyfriends or serious relationships, which means you guys know each other. You'll know him more than you'll know any man that you try to come across. Any man you try to come across, you hear her saying, "Oh, well, they don't want to court, and they don't want to." She feels as though that men think they're the prize, in which I don't see the problem with men thinking that they're the prize. But even in the conversation that she had with him, the ending of that clip, because I kind of pieced some stuff together, but even the ending of that clip, Corey clearly has come into this thing with the mindset that marriage is work. Marriage is work. And I believe that Tia didn't want to be with Corey anymore because she didn't know a life outside of him, a personal life outside of him. And I don't think that that's a reason to divorce your husband. She also didn't know who she was as a woman. That's not a reason to divorce your husband. if anything, your man shows you who you are as a woman in that relationship. And I think that this showed her that she probably wasn't as whole of a woman as she probably wanted to be. And so, okay, cool. But to divorce your husband over that, to me, seems drastic. It seems like very, like the first clip that we played, very impulsive, very emotional. I believe Corey had put out a post saying that, you know, when you act off of emotions, it'll cost you every time. So Corey knows who he dealing with. He didn't file for divorce from her. She filed for divorce from him. And so if there was a possibility that they are going to get back together, because again, this is hearsay. I've seen a lot of people report on it. I've seen a clip. I believe she's coming out with a new reality show. I forget what the name is. It's coming out, I believe, next month. And she's going to talk about her journey, her divorce journey, being single and things like that. Like she said, she only been on the market for 3 months, but 3 months obviously has been a very distasteful, you know, amount of time for her to be out here and figure out that it's not like what it is being home. And even though it's different and it may not be as, you know, as sweet as you think it is supposed to be at home, you need to take your ass home. Because you have a husband, or you had a husband, in which, you know, there's people who get married and then get married again and then get married again. In my live, I was talking about, I think the Braxtons, I think their parents got married and remarried a few times. And then eventually, you know, it didn't work. But I don't think that they tried. I think it was just divorce and then boom. Tia and Corey are divorced. She putting out this sad post, you know, on Instagram, and everybody's like, what happened? And Corey remains silent. That's one thing I do just respect about him. He has stayed silent. He hasn't said anything bad about his wife. He hasn't, you know, he did say, you know, things about emotions, but women are emotional, right? So there's that. There's fact and truth in that. But he's been very respectful of their union. So again, if they are working towards working it out, I think everything that she has said, because you have, and we have played it on this channel before. I've been on here long enough that we have covered Tia Mowry a couple times. And I always say, when they sit down together, they just look so disconnected. They just look so far from each other spiritually. They might be close to each other in proximity, but spiritually, they just seem so far from each other. And so I think that they really need to go through some type of, and I don't want to, you know, I believe in counseling, therapy, God, all that good stuff, but they need to go through some type of bonding, a bonding period where they need to get to know each other all over again. Because now you done been out here in these streets. And I remember somebody had put up, I think in my post on Instagram, like, okay, now you're gonna have to go get tested. You make sure you ain't coming back here with no diseases and things of that nature. But I think that I wouldn't be opposed to them working it out, because we talk about on these platforms all the time, you know, how people don't want marriage, and marriage isn't for everyone. You know, if you want marriage, you want it. If you don't, you don't. But they were married, which means that they believed in the union of marriage. They produced 2 children out of it. Her talking about marriage and then being divorced and it being a celebration and a graduation and things of that nature. She is now eating her words, because you went from graduation back to kindergarten, sweetheart. You back in pre-K now. You back in pre-K and can't get past that graduation, because the men out here are not, you know, up to par what you want. But you had someone at home that could take you out. I think she also had issues with Corey and him not being able to produce as much work as she has or does. And my thing with that is, you know, you married him that way, which means you agreed to go along this journey with him of what he was going through as far as his professional career. And so if you're in in this industry, you should be helping him, being the helpmate that you should be, helping him, right? You should be helping him. She talked about in one, someone had posted something, influencer, or I don't know who the guy was, honestly. So he could have been, anyway, I don't know who he was, but he talked about, you know, people not living up to being fully adults and being tidy and things like that, and just this whole rant on, you know, if people aren't what you want them to be, then you need to let them go. And she had put some eyes underneath of the post, pretty much alluding to that, you know, she was referencing that as far as Corey is concerned, and, you know, cleaning up around the house and bringing in work and things of that nature. I still don't think those are reasons to divorce your husband. Those are things y'all work out. Those are things that if you've had somebody put in the chat about like a midlife crisis, which I think that she truly did. I truly think that something happened with Tia where she felt like she had to get out. And I don't think that that was the answer. But divorcing your husband without, you know, going through the proper steps of trying to reconciliate, trying to get back on the same page with him, because I believe she divorced him for nothing. I mean, I'm not Tia, but then again, I know myself. Tia, maybe she didn't know herself, because that's what it sounded like. She wanted to be happy. She don't know what happiness is. She don't know what peace is. Those are things that you have to find before you are joined with somebody. Those are things that you have to know that you have before you're with someone. So when you get with someone, you're adding to that and they're adding to you. But since she was so young and she was being an actress and things of that nature in the industry, I don't think she really saw marriage as marriage. Again, she saw it as a graduation. She saw it as, you know, getting through this step in life. Okay, and now I'll live another phase of life. When you're married and you have 2 children, that is your life. So why give up your life for something that you don't know? You don't know this outside life. So why not stay with the man that you married? So I'm in favor. And if you guys want to call in, you can. The number is scrolling across the bottom of the screen if you want to weigh in on this. I'll give the show another about half hour, and if nobody calls in, we'll close out. But I would be happy to see them work it out, but I would want her to be just as loud with reconciliation as she was with staring him down and making him look like a fool in social media. Another woman who goes to social media to talk about issues. I just hate that aspect.
I can't stand her.
To talk about your issues.
I can't stand her. I'm sorry.
So Precious, what can be the reconciliation after you totally embarrassed me as a man, your husband, treated me at the lowest of low? We don't know what went on inside closed doors, but we can surmise from his silence and respecting his covenant and her audacity to blast that all over the ethos of public media. Then when she found out that she's no longer a bad bee and the pickings are slim for her, she wants to come back home. That's a bitter pill to swallow for a man, and men are prideful, especially men that hold to a covenant because he didn't break it.
Mm-hmm.
She could have did that all nice and quiet, kept her business to herself without trying to tear down the man on her way out. But she chose the latter, right?
I agree with you.
Okay.
And from a
I just want to
woman's
chime in before Kenneth,
I'm not
before you
done yet.
continue, because I want to thank Precious and Hank for pulling me back to my spiritual side, and Kenneth, you just bringing me back over there, and I don't want to go back over there. So I just want to say, yeah, I can understand the perspective that both you and Hank brought up, and there will be some stipulations on being able to forgive her. And I gotta find it in my heart to be able to forgive on that spiritual side. But Ken, you can pull me right back in over there. Rick, you could as well. And I'm just trying not to go over there because I'm feeling emotional about it. I'm in my
Nah,
feelings
nah,
about it.
not with this one, bro. Not with this one. Like, again, I'm just ranting, right? To me personally, I think she left him because he was a husband, because he covered her, because it was some things that he would not allow her to embarrass herself with, right? If you go and you do research on them, right? Uh, she was complaining about a lot how Corey wouldn't let her get on TikTok and do the little dances and the silhouette challenges and shit like that right before they got divorced, right? So to me personally, I just think he was being a husband. And again, people on the inside looking out, thinking the world out there is something that's not, right? Oh, I can get a man anytime, and I don't care what nobody say. The only reason a woman will leave a man is she feels, especially if he's a good man, a decent man, a husband, right? And he's a good option. The only reason they're gonna leave a man 9 times out of 10, right, is one or two reasons. Money. That means there's a better option available, or some dick. That's it. I don't care what nobody say, right? She thought it was some better dick. She thought she could replace Corey Hardrick at the drop of a dime because she was Tia Mowry from whatever show she used to play on and shit, and thinking that was still handling. Somebody was in her ear telling her she was better than she was. Right?
I wholeheartedly agree with that.
Right? So that being said, right? How would it look for him as a man knowing this? Because we always find out after the fact, right, fellas? We always find out after the fact, right? She calling you, hey, can you keep the kids an extra weekend? Because I'm going on a yacht with somebody, da-da-da, and it's 2 weeks after y'all done got divorced. 2 weeks? What they say with us if we were a girl after we broke up with them in 2 weeks?
You been messing with her? You been had her around.
Right? So again, like I listen to, but listen to what let's listen to how adults think, right? Why should we take her marriage any more seriously than she did? Yeah, we think they should get. Why? Why? Because it's the right thing to do. Somebody ain't been doing the right thing since she graduated from her husband. God damn it. She graduated. She got the class she was looking for and she failed. Now you think you can come back to this school? You already got your transcripts, right? All your paperwork is done and gone, signed by the state. Now, because he was a good man, look, I need y'all to listen to what I'm saying, right? Because he was a good man, he should let you back in the door. What's the point of being a good man if you don't get no rewards from it? What's the point of being a good husband when your wife ain't gonna be decent? What's the point of courting a woman when they all trying to get your money? And y'all wonder why we're at where we're at. She had one job, keep your husband. And she gave him away like he was free. Gave him away like he was free, like he was nothing. Like, let's keep it honest, like he was beneath her. Oh, you're not good enough for anymore. You know what? I'm grown now. The things I liked before, I don't like them anymore. You're just peasants. You got your money, I got your money. We'll split the kids. It doesn't mean shit. I mean, this happens all the time. That's what everybody does. And the day y'all heard she was breaking up, she had a naked ass on TikTok. Facts, or am I lying?
That's facts. You're telling the truth.
Leave that ain't shit woman where she at. Let her sit in that dark ass bedroom in that big ass bed by herself, because her kids are gonna grow up and go off to college or go off to private school, and leave her in her thoughts. Leave her in her motherfucking thoughts. Him marrying her and taking her back ain't gonna make her no better of a woman.
Well, I don't know. I think it's giving her some what they say, straightening. She definitely getting some straightening now, because you know, in that interview you could tell she don't she it's almost like she don't have the strength to do the work in the marriage, but then she also don't have the strength to be out here in these streets. You know, it's almost like if you want to put the work anywhere, you should put it in your relationship and not out here in these streets. You know, so that's why I say go back, because no amount of work that you put out here now is going to equal what you and Corey have built, the children that you do have. I know that there was a, I believe he wanted spousal support and it wasn't issued. And so, you know, it's pretty much straight down the middle as far as them raising their children and, you know, bills, anything that comes with that. So I don't know. I just believe like Hank said, you know, there has to be some stipulations if you come back. I mean, honestly, he wouldn't be wrong if he was like, so what was it like? Have you learned your lesson? Have you come to your senses? But I think, you know, for the sake of their family, I honestly think that they should be back together. Because like you said, who gonna want her? Who gonna want her? And that's not his problem. It's not his problem at all. But at the same time, you know, 14 years of marriage to throw down the drain because you don't know what happiness is, and you feel as though the, you know, work that you're doing within your marriage is taken away from that. No, you need to find out how you can be a whole woman within your marriage. And I think she took the easy way out and divorced him. That's the easy way out. You took the easy way out.
Or so she
You
thought.
didn't want to. You didn't want to grow, right? Or so she thought. You didn't want to grow, you know, through the growing pains. Because for 14 years, my gosh, I got through the 7-year itch. You got through, you know, 10 years, and then you get to 14 years. It's like, come on.
Yeah. You know what, Rick? You pulled me right back over there to the dark side, and I understand. But in all actuality, it would have to be some very strong, definitive changes in her to even consider it. For the family, it is worth considering. As I said again, spiritually, forgiveness is something that we need to learn better. And yeah, every point that you made is critical, but here's some points that weren't spoken about. She has been in the entertainment industry all her life. She has been a sheltered, spoiled little brat. And unfortunately, she wasn't listening to nobody, which she probably was conditioned to because of her lifestyle. And she had to find out the hard way, which is an unfortunate reality of a lot of people. But do we not forgive them once they found out? I'm trained to believe that we should, and I do believe that. But in order to make it believable, you have to be, as Hank said, consistent on the stipulations or the things or the identities of what that looks like, and whether that's and how that looks is to be determined. But yeah, you would have to identify what that looks like. You would have to be consistent on wanting it. As Precious said, you would have to voice it very loudly as far as your change, as loudly as you voiced everything else. In that clip, she did say, "Yeah, the man is the prize." You would be having to say that, you know, to the wheels roll off. But yeah, I did get pulled back in there, Rick, because you made a lot of great points. But again, my spirit and my maturity, I have to go back to understanding forgiveness and identifying that, yo, But to Hank's and Precious' point, again, it would have to be laid out there. There will be rules because she basically was unruly. And unfortunately, she was an unruly, spoiled little brat. I'm not surprised though because of the entertainment industry that she's in and how people are conditioned in that area. So, am I surprised that that's how she act? Not at all. Uh, does that warrant merit for what she did? Not at all. But does it warrant forgiveness if she has learned her lesson? Absolutely.
Yeah. You guys can call in. We got about 15 more minutes if you want to call in. If not, we're going to close the show. I'm going to read some of these. We did get a super chat, so I do apologize. Mr. He said, thank you so much for contributing to the platform. He says, for the grind ringing. Thanks so much for being here. Thank you guys for being. Ooh, look who I see in the chat, though. He can't take her back under any circumstances. From Mr. R. Payne himself.
Pain.
He has
Salute to
ravaged
you and
us.
yours, man. I know you're out there. I think you and your wife are
Happy
celebrating y'all's anniversary. So
Yes,
happy anniversary, brother.
congratulations. But we knew that was going to be our Payne's
Congrats,
position.
OG.
Yeah, congratulations.
Happy
But
anniversary.
we knew that was going to be our Payne's position because she did the unthinkable. She
She
messed with
publicly shamed
somebody
him.
else.
And well, did she? I mean,
In
I don't know.
our
We can
Payne's
assume.
mind,
Right.
she absolutely did. It don't matter if she did or didn't. She did.
And I think it's a lot to do with, public shaming. That's one thing. Again, I'm gonna go back. I hate that women do that. I hate that women will get on the internet and publicly shame a man. It shows how immature and how it's almost like a temper tantrum that a kid is having. Mr. Let Go always say that women are children. But it shows those characteristics coming out because it's like if you can't handle this and we know that Tia Mowry is part of the entertainment business and things of that nature. And that's why when she comes out with this new reality show or whatever she's coming out with, I need her to talk about how much of a fool she has been. I need her to be real with that. Seriously.
Precisely.
She's
I
going
agree
to talk about this divorce. She's going to talk about
who want to make a bet right now? I bet you 100 she don't take nothing she said back.
Well, to be honest with you, I wouldn't take that bet.
The whole whatever this is going to be, reality TV series. I don't know what it's going to be. Maybe I should look it up.
It is not. What?
Yeah.
Look.
I wouldn't take that bet, Rick, because again, she's in the entertainment industry, which is based around a lot of pride, and there's a lot of people who, that pride is something that's more dangerous than anything else.
Why do y'all expect it to change when he forgive her? Why?
Life could humble pride. That's why, but I don't think it's gonna. I don't think that. I can't argue with you. I'm just trying to have.
I'm gonna go with y'all. Right? I forgive her, but there will be stipulations. She'll have to watch me hit her sister.
Oops, I didn't know. Y'all twins, ain't y'all? Man, forgive me.
She'd have to watch. Look, she'd have to set it up, hook me up, and watch me hit her sister for me to marry her again.
You know what?
Wow.
You know
what?
what?
Oh man. I mean, that's an extreme, but I'm not mad at it. It's an extreme retribution. It's an extreme retribution, but hey, whatever it takes, if that's what it took, then it will be her eating pie or you eating pie, depending on how you want to look at it.
So she's gonna have this new. It's called My Next Act. Okay, so Tia Mowry is heading back to reality television. The Sister Star is to front Tia Mowry, My Next Act for AMC Network's WeTV. It comes after Mowry and her husband Corey Hardrick finalized their divorce last year. The news came out as part of AMC Network's 2024 Upfront presentation taking place today in New York. Yeah, as she talks about this journey, because it says it will follow her as she's newly single, dealing with motherhood and juggling her busy life. Two is better than one. And everything that you're doing by yourself, where you feel like you busy, you got these kids, you got this career. Corey was once upon a time there. He was, your husband. He was splitting those things with you. So for the mere fact that you want to have this reality show, I want you to talk about how hard it is and how you regret doing it. That's what I want to see.
She is still banking off of their divorce, my sister.
I agree with Rick, and the reason what you just read, Precious, is the reason why I would not take Rick up on that bet. It's because as good as it sounds, she's still caught up in being a selfish Hollywood little kid.
She is still banking off the failure that she caused. And y'all think, man, leave her for the streets, bro.
And I can't dispute that because if you really are trying to get your life together, a show is not the way to go. He's already your life has already been publicly shamed, so you have to take that your life out of the public in order to retribute.
That's why I want her to wrap it up full circle. That's why she should come out and say, look, these last couple of these last few years have really been eye-opening for me. They have really been eye-opening for me. And I would like because you hear about women, divorcing their husbands and, throwing them out there to the wolves and things of that nature. But do you really hear a woman say, you know what? I was wrong for what I did. I regret doing what I did.
And she got a bag, and she got a bag on the line.
Yeah.
They have a bag because honestly, they're still family. You divorce your husband, y'all still family.
Right. And like I said, it's hard because she's still chasing the bag. And let's just play it out. Let's just say it was a money bag for the family. They're getting on this show and they're trying to come together and genuinely, and they're gonna get a bag while doing it. That's a dangerous game to play. That's a real dangerous game to play because she already showed that she don't really know how to play the game of life that well. So she will probably fail. And he will wind up having to eat crow again in public because he's trying to, get the bag and do it professionally and business-wise. But she ain't ready. She's not showing she's ready. Life is not a game she knows how to play. She know how to play the theater game. She know how to play the Hollywood game. She know how to play the spoiled little brat game. She know how to play the woman hear me roar game. She know how to play a lot of games, but life game, she ain't that well at. She ain't that good at.
Yeah, I mean, it says this is the first time she's on her own. I the first time you on your own after a divorce, I don't know. It just seems like there was something definitely missing as far as her owning who she is throughout her career or throughout her time before she got married, because it's just such a horrible time to do this, be out on your own after you done got divorced when you were covered by a man. And I think because things weren't as perfect as she wanted them to be in the relationship, she thought she had to get out of it. And no relationship is perfect. So, and as you can see out here in the dating world, it's not going as she thought it was planned. It's definitely not. So to leave a 14-year relationship, really 18-year relationship, to me is crazy. But hey. So nobody thinks that they the majority of the panel doesn't think that they should get back together. Hank said, at least give it a try. I say they should give it a try. Sean's,
I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence.
But I am interested. and seeing this reality show because I'm interested in what else she got to say. I mean, what else? She done been on everybody's talk show. She done been on everybody's, couch talking about this situation in this relationship. So I'm curious as to, I mean, we only needed that little couple seconds about the dating life. I mean, what else is she going to say? You know what I mean? So my thing is, what is this show really going to truly, what exactly are you going to say? What is it going to be? I truly think it needs to be you getting back to your husband and realizing that what you did was foolishness. It was foolishness. But hey, we might be holding our breath for that. So we shall see. We shall see. Uncle Rick, like, y'all want to bet though.
None of y'all want to put no money up. You know what I'm saying? So I think y'all just filling wolf tickets. You feel me? Yeah, I think y'all just doing lip service. Nah, man. I just think like if they were still married and separated, for sure. You know what I'm saying? Still an understanding in between each y'all. The covenant, the contract and the covenant still there. But she broke it, man. Nah, bro. Nah, man. It's like
going back, huh?
It's just different. It's just different. I know women don't understand it. It's just different. To me, it's different. You know what I'm saying? Walk away from somebody that's been good to you. That's crazy to me. That's crazy. I can't see it. Especially like you said, the understanding of, hey, what's the game show? This was your life. You know what I'm saying? You disrupted not just your family, but the immediate family and the secondaries, right? You interrupted everybody's life for your fucking feelings. That's crazy to me. Right? If she was getting beat or abused or neglected in space, but y'all had everything. You just threw it away. Nah, bro, get out of here. Go stay out on them streets, G.
Stay on them streets. All right, so we're gonna get to the final thoughts. Nobody called in the show. All right, we're gonna get to the final thoughts. We'll start with Uncle Ricky. We'll go our way around and end our way at the actual King Smith. So your final thoughts for this evening, sir, and I appreciate you for being here. So thank you again.
I know I've been missing you. I've been missing you. I'm happy I was finally able to get on. I'll be with you for Mondays now. Now that my schedule is straight, so I see you, sis.
All right.
Shout out to the fellas, y'all guys. Take care of y'allself, man. Make sure y'all keep y'all head on the swivel on these streets. Stay safe. As I always end it, man. Take care of yourself first. If you wasn't here to see it, it would not exist. Don't let nobody fool you. Right. Once you do that, take care of your family, because who's going to feed you your Jello when you get older? And I like Jello. And I guarantee y'all, if y'all do those things, 99% of things will take care of itself. Y'all have a great night. Be safe. Love those who love you, because the rest don't deserve it. Y'all have a good one.
Thanks, Ricky. All right, Sean, final words, sir.
My final words are, Lord, be with me. Help me get between this emotional place and your spiritual place. And when it comes to subjects like the one that we had on this, the main topic today, whether you should forgive her or not, I can't determine right now. I'm torn. My spiritual side again says yes. My ego and my pride says hell no. So Lord, forgive her, forgive me, forgive her, help me, allow them to just have a great marriage for their kids, more importantly, and whatever that allowance looks like, just provide it to them and their family. And I'll leave it there.
All right, thank you, sir. Thanks so much for being here. I appreciate you. Kenny, your final thoughts this evening, sir?
Very good points of view by everyone. I think these topics that hit everyone in communities, and this is real life here. I think that we should always think before we do. We're giving examples tonight because you might not be able to retract the steps or walk back the things you've done or the offenses you made or the scars that you've left. On that note, I bid everyone a good night.
Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. And the actual King Smith, my co-host, sir, your final thoughts?
Here's my thoughts about Tia.
She belongs to the streets.
That's the first thing. My second thing is too often I think people overcomplicate things that are going on in their life, and then as additional stresses and stuff gets added, things start to weigh down and make other things harder. To the people out there, I think a good bit of the people that watch this show, they see the value in simple, and they see the value in leadership, right? And there's going to be some people that some concepts that a lot of the men have shared are new concepts to them, and they may take something from that, learn from it, try it out, apply it, and grow. The thing, I'm going to sound like a broken record, because for me, I'm going to continue to say, be honest, open, and transparent with yourself. Be honest, open, and transparent with others. And I got that from you, Precious. I love that. I say that almost every day. And don't overcomplicate your life, and just use the KISS method. Keep it simple. That's all I've got.
All right. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I think some people are dropping off, so I appreciate you. But thank you guys for joining. Those who are on Facebook, those who have joined their channel with ours so that their audience can see. I really appreciate you guys for participating, for sending the super chats, for sending the cash apps. I appreciate you guys so much. I don't know what's going on with my YouTube. YouTube don't like me too much, y'all. YouTube sent me an email, and I'm like, I just don't know if I'm gonna continue to do YouTube. But I love doing these Monday nights with you guys. So I don't know. Stay tuned, because I may have to think of a different direction, maybe a different platform. I don't know what I need to do. And so I'm just going to be still for a little bit until I figure it out, and really go into a direction. I love having these conversations. I know a lot of people actually like watching these conversations. From some of King's people, he always reports back to me and tells me, hey, look, I have people who love your channel. They love the different age groups on here, the different perspectives. And I think, we're not ratchet enough for YouTube. We're not ratchet enough. But that has never been my lane. And I will not start to get ratchet for YouTube. So I'm just going to have to think of different avenues and different ways to connect with you guys. But I do appreciate you, all those who watch, who tune in. Again, from Facebook, you guys don't have to. You still tune in, you still watch, you still contribute. So I really do appreciate you. And my final thoughts, like since day one, since I have been here, be real with yourself so you can be real with others. If you're not real with yourself, you can't be real with others. You can't build anything with others. You can't sustain anything with others, because you're lying to yourself. And so, if you have to be alone long so you can be real with yourself, at least you'll have oneness within yourself, so that you'll be able to receive and give to others. When you're not real with yourself, you can't be real with other people. So I appreciate you guys. Those are my final thoughts. Be hot, honest, open, and transparent. And do that with yourself first. Be hot with yourself first. Again, you can't be real with others until you're real with yourself. So you might have to get honest, open, and transparent with yourself about some things. Write some things down. Post some things. Go to a therapist. So create a relationship with God. Do what you got to do to get stillness within you, so you know which way to move. You know which direction to go in, and so you won't be going in circles. I think that when you're not real with yourself, then you start to go in circles, and you wonder why, and you wonder why you're not getting where you need to get to, because you're not being real with yourself. And so, even with this YouTube, I love doing this. But, I have to be real with myself and say, is this truly where God wants me to be? I love being here with y'all, but I gotta be real. Like, is this where I need to be putting my time, my energy? And so we will cross that bridge when we get there. But I love that we had this conversation this evening. I love the different perspectives, and I love that we can get together and have civil conversations. I really do. So I appreciate you guys. And again, thank you for joining us. Happy Tuesday at this point. And again, be real with yourself so you can be real with others. You guys have a great evening, okay? Good night.
Good night. Gang, what up?